Hey y'all! Welcome back to the stream. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning back in to the Harbingers D&D campaign. And as promised, we mentioned today that we have two guest stars coming today. They are none other than Parker and Brandon from Nat One Nerds podcast. Woo! Do you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. Hey, we're Parker and Brandon. We run a podcast called Nat One Nerds, where we go over different RPG systems and kind of just talk about the differences and explore a little bit. So it's good to be here. We're happy to play with you guys.
Awesome. And we're so grateful that you guys have come to join our session for today, and we're excited to see how it goes and to do the adventure today. Um, as always, we're going to start off with a quick recap by Sierra. She's going to recap it for us, and then we'll head into the session.
Wow. Last session, it was discovered that Nuri was correct. It was the two halflings stacked on top of each other with a cloak that murdered our wonderful cat lady friend, Kaya. I want to say her name is. I could be wrong. Let me do this. Okay. But on her desk was discovered that it was a whole bunch of stuff on Big Nose Jack and that all the securities on his prison was stolen. And then Houdini, the greatest animal companion ever, told us that the siblings who never split up. And so we made a wild chase down to the town dungeon area where everyone was unconscious. And Merilla was fascinated by this amazing unicorn horse that Dusty had created. And Dusty was bringing everyone back up, and they were super not helpful at all. And then Nuri had this great idea of how they can only go out one way. So she convinced everyone to stay when Douse said we should go forwards. And Douse was correct. We should have gone forwards, because then there was this big rumbling of the building and darkness fell upon us, and we all evil. So we rush into Big Nose Jack's dungeon area, find him tied to a chair, his big nose cut off and on the floor. He had been tortured and stabbed unnecessarily so many times, and at his feet was a single black raven feather. So as we're all discussing about what to do and all that, something mysterious happened to Douse that left him more quiet than normal, which was odd, but we don't know what happened. And then...
Well, you don't know what happened.
Well,
unless you watched last session.
That's something you have to watch last session for. Okay, and then, what was the husband? I don't remember his name.
It's Novak.
Novak, thank you. Dorothy and Novak came in and were like, oh, we couldn't find the twins. They weren't at the temple. And we were like, we do it. So then we all went into town kind of looking for them and saw them trying to sneak back into the guild place and had an epic battle with them where we absolutely demolished them. And Amaris said some pretty biting words about being a monster that you should check that out. At least that part if you haven't. And we ended by returning to our inn to get some well-earned sleep as the morning is coming on. And Novak, that's his name, said he would come and talk to us about aftermath stuff, which then Merilla gently reminded him that Dorothy was now in charge and not him. And that is where we end.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, with that quick recap, let's go ahead and dive into the adventure. Okay, so as you guys are starting to kind of wake up, it's about midday at this point. You had a bit of a troubled sleep, as it was quite a long day. or night, I guess, for you guys. Um, you guys are able to wake up, come back come back into the main portion of the inn where where the innkeeper is currently serving a midday lunch for all the patrons there.
Is the fearsome threesome there again?
They do not seem to be there right now.
Okay, well, then I'll just happily skip up to go get some breakfast.
Okay, awesome. Are the rest of you guys going to come and join and have some lunch?
Merilla, with not as much near energy, also follows Nuri to the bar to get food.
Douse is going to take a morning bath because he was too exhausted to do it the night before after everything that happened. After that, he will join.
Okay.
He needs his water.
Amaris comes down a little later than everyone else.
Alrighty. And Dusty?
Dusty's gonna come down and he's gonna go sit by the entrance and wait for Novak and Dorothy to get here.
Alrighty. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in the time being, or leave it at that? All right, Gucci.
Merilla's gonna make sure that she gets more biscuits and gravy.
Actually, I do. So Nora, Mars is upstairs. Dusty's at the door. Douse is upstairs in the bath, right?
Yes, and Merilla is currently getting more biscuits and gravy.
Well, I'll wait till she comes and sits back down with the biscuits and gravy. But I want to ask her a question.
Are you going to steal her food?
I would never.
That's Merilla's job.
So once Merilla comes back, are you back, Merilla?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not going to get anything, Nuri?
Oh, I'm just a fast eater. I already finished.
Oh.
But Merilla, cool tattoos. Like, where'd you get those done?
These?
Yeah.
They're not tattoos. Well, it's
They are.
more exciting to think of them that way. Maybe that's what I should tell people.
Well, what are they then?
I've always had them. Ever since I woke up.
Woke up. You mean you were you born that way? Is that what you mean by woke up? You were born?
Well, she eats her biscuit, shoves some in her mouth. She's like, I don't know. How do I have to
always been this old?
do?
Have you always been this old?
No.
Okay.
Oh, very mean, no.
When did you remember waking up? Were you like 4, 15?
Well, they thought I looked to be 12. So that's just what we went with.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
were you perhaps, I don't know, an elf before that, perhaps?
Do I look like a pointy ear? Do pointy ears get wrinkles and saggy skin like you see me have?
Well, I did say before. I don't know, could cut your ears down or something, which would have been horrible. I hope. Oh, that's horrible. But
She like checks her ear. Is that Scottish?
are they?
I've never
Does
really
it
been able to look at them
does
before.
it look like her ears have been cut at all?
No.
Okay. I'm
Her
gonna
ears
go
look
and go
totally
Marilla.
fine and totally human.
I don't tell Merilla for a second. Instead, I just like pull out my notebook, my quill appears, and I'm just like, just leave her wondering for a moment. And then I go, no, they look mortal and human. Your ears are fine, dear.
Good. I certainly feel more.
Yep. Well, if
I pushed
That's
myself too
later, and
hard
Amaris
last
decided
night.
to come downstairs. I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, Mars is coming down by this point.
I see my wonderful cousin coming. I'm like, oh, she's cousin. We're over here. And I'm gonna
Save
just
me.
go to my book and yeah.
And Douse,
Stop
at this
talking.
point, you're done with your bath as well, so you can head down.
I would go down.
Alrighty.
And then remind me the hostess's name again. It was. I'm trying to remember her name.
Katie? Oh my gosh,
Katie?
I can't remember. I think it was Katie. We're gonna go with Katie. Sorry for anyone
Okay.
who knows
Sure,
it
her
as
name
another
starts
name.
with D. It's okay.
I had everything else up but my notes.
Yeah, it's a DM blank right now. She changed her name overnight. It's Katie.
All right. Katie,
She does this every
darling,
day.
sweetie, please, today, will you tell me that secret ingredient?
Oh, Douse. No, I can't tell you the secret ingredient. It's one day. One day I will.
One day, I will
Mhm.
get you one of these days, for sure.
Maybe you should bring me a recipe in return.
You already know all the recipes that I have. I only have 3.
True. But find something exotic and maybe I'll tell you the secret ingredient.
Okay. After my pilgrimage, we will talk, and I might have some exotic things for you.
Okay. Just know you always have a free bed and the free food here.
Why, thank you, darling. The usual, please.
Of course. She comes and she brings your usual plate of food and she hands it to you. Fresh,
I'd
fresh
take
from
it
the
and go join them.
perfect, fresh from the fire.
As soon as
Alrighty.
Douse comes over, Marilla's gonna lean over to him a little bit and be like, "Did you make sure it was all in the house again?"
Mine was.
Oh,
Was I
dear.
supposed to make sure you was?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Marilla, food stealing. No, just kidding. Okay, so at this point, you guys see the doorway to the inn actually open up, and you see the familiar face of Dorothy, looking a little bit more ragged, a lot more tired than you guys feel. And behind her are 2 individuals as well. So this is Parker and Brandon, if you guys would like to introduce what they see.
Well, they see I would say about a 6'2" tall individual. He's a bit pale. Um, he wears a wide brimmed hat, nice coat and cloak, with a rapier dangling at his side. He also has an interesting looking, what appears to be maybe a lantern, kind of hanging from his belt on the other side. He does have a small quiver with a bow, and he kind of just seems very in the moment. He is immediately scanning the room, looking around, just taking every information bit in.
And next to him is a figure who is wearing a deeply hooded cloak. And if anyone tries to look up through the cloak, you'd see that he also wears a face covering on pretty much everything except for his very striking pale blue eyes. He keeps himself very covered and keeps to himself as much as he can. Through his cloak, you can see what looks like some sort of weapon dangling at his side, as well as a lyre on his back.
Off
Awesome.
commenting to everybody else at the table, Merilla kind of says a little bit lower, "I wonder how the one in the cloak can see anything."
He's probably 2 halflings. Just keep an eye out for the second one.
Will do. Never know where they might strike.
Wonder if he knows Dusty, perhaps. I mean, they both hide their faces.
Okay.
Fine.
I don't know why. I just want to see an animatic of this exact moment just made. Um,
Gotcha.
okay, perfect.
And oblige.
Alrighty. So Dorothy comes in and with these two individuals falling behind her, and she turns to you, Dusty, since you were waiting by the door, seemingly for them. She says, "Oh, well, we're back. It's been a long morning, yeah, I can say
Oh,
the least.
why is that?
Well, figuring out everything with arrests and contacting the cleric out in Sunshield, and it's just, it's been a long time, especially, now being the new head of the Adventurers Guild here in Steel Glen. It's
Okay.
it's been a lot.
How
But
to do
we're
it?
working it. Novak is sorry he's unable to make it today. She gestures to all of you guys. I told him to stay with Trixie, get some rest. So it's been
I totally understand.
it's been rough on them. These are my two friends here. This is Val, and she points to Parker's character. The one with like the clear like rapier on his sword on his hip and the lantern, right? She points to him and she says, "This is Val." And she points towards the cloaked figure and she says, "This is Echo." Um, and she's like, "Echo, Val, these are the unnamed group."
People. We're people.
People.
We're still
Don't
working
forget
on it.
that. It's
They
important.
helped figure out the investigation and as to, who killed Kaya, and they were very, very effective and helpful at the very end, trying to stop them.
Val will
I
just
correct myself. We are the smart and capable people. Thank you.
Val will tip his hat toward you all, and he'll just be like, smart and capable people. Echo gives a little bow and says, "Pleasure to meet you."
Meet you guys. My name's Dusty. And he extends a hand towards you. You can see that he's like looking at you because he's facing you, but you can't really see where his eyes are looking. He has a pair of goggles covering them.
Val will take the hand and give a firm and hard handshake.
Good to meet you, Val.
Are you
Same
two
here.
from the same place? With the faces, masks, same place?
I don't recognize this.
Dusty is definitely from the desert. He's so
It
dusty.
is.
This other guy. Your robes are dark, right?
They're like a brownish gray.
Okay. Are they darker brownish gray?
Sure.
Okay. But this guy, he would pop out against the light sands like a sore sun. Assuming how much he's trying to hide already, it's just a bad idea.
I tend to conduct most of my work at nights, hence the darker cloak. My apologies for not fitting in with your friend.
Oh no,
At which
Not
point,
expected.
Echo extends a hand, which is also covered in a sort of bandaging wrap, and he shakes his hand as well.
He matches yours with his leather gloved hand.
They're just worried about germs.
That's really what it is. Yeah. I out of game. Yeah. I totally could. Yeah.
well, it is a pleasure to meet both of you as well. I'm interested to hear what we have to get, what we're going to be doing together, or what's going on. But yes.
Yes,
Why
Dorothy.
are you here? We are expecting Dorothy, but not you.
That's what I'm getting to.
Excellent.
Yes, just so Val and Echo here, they are some experienced members of the Avon's Edge Guild here, and pretty much they're going to help you on your introductory adventure to basically initiate you into the guild. Pretty much, you have to complete one quest that's officially put forward by the guild in order to become official members of the guild. Then you can start building renown and all that jazzy stuff. But yes, there have been a couple items of business that have been brought to us, but I was looking at some of the notes that Kaya had left behind on the quests that needed to be done, and well, Echo and Val here, they're very good at investigations, just like how you guys did this investigation. So what I'm hoping that you guys will be able to accomplish is we have been given information of a missing girl a little orc girl. Her name is Tax Toughhammer. She went missing from Dragondale recently. Her father came and brought the quest to us here in Steelglen. And pretty much he said that at the time he was out on business for the Leodon Shipping Co. For when he was, he was out on a way, and when he returned, she was gone. So what we're hoping is that you guys can go there, investigate what's going on, and Val and Echo are here to aid you in that endeavor and help you out on this to pretty much find the girl, bring her back to her family. That's everything.
We'll find her.
Okay. And yeah.
Okay. Do we know kind of where we should be heading out first then?
To Dragondale. That is where,
okay.
yeah, to the city Dragondale. As you guys can look at the map here, since we're on the map. I think I have every on the map. Okay, yeah. That is right here. Dragondale. I'll just zoom in for everyone to see. So it's off to the east of Steelglen. I guess a little southeast, but getting a little closer to the desert over there. They have a small little chapter in, or at least Echo and Val, you know that there's like a small little chapter of the Avon's Edge Guild in Dragondale, but it's not so much of like its own like section of it because the Steel Glen jurisdiction still falls over Dragondale. It's more of like once you finish the quest, you guys can actually report it to the Avon's Edge people in Dragondale in order to like complete it pretty much.
And did she go missing from Dragondale? Did I hear that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah. So, Dorothy continues to explain. She says, yes, her father, Drov Halfhammer, came to us here in Steel Glen a couple days ago, and he was asking for us to help find her and to get a group that will go out and investigate it. And, well, since you all did a great job on the last investigation, I figured it would be best for you guys to start off by investigating this.
Oh,
So what do you
for sure. Definitely we'll do that. Is Leodon Shipping hiring this, or is it just the dad?
So Drav is providing his own funds for this, but he also has contacted the company, and Leodon Shipping Co. is also providing reward money for the daughter. So a substantial amount.
Oh. Good. They're a good company. I knew it. Okay.
Well, shall we go about requisites, or I guess heading out then and getting started?
I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
it would be wise to leave sooner rather than later.
Agreed.
Yes, I would agree.
Marilla's just like,
shoves down the rest of her food. She like digs deep in her pocket and takes out 3 copper pieces and puts them on the table. All right. Ready to go now?
I'll just go get my bag and I'll run
Oh
upstairs.
yes, that's important. She follows Nuri up.
As the other members are getting their stuff, Val will actually walk over to the bar and he will purchase a bottle for the road.
okay, all right, and you can purchase it for 1 silver piece.
And he tosses the silver piece down.
Okay, perfect. Katie takes it and she nods to you. She slips it into her pocket. So, and Nuri, as you head up to your room, you notice that all 4 beds in the room have been made.
Has anything been taken?
No, they've just been made.
Oh, they're so fast here. I'm gonna just grab my bag.
Excellent service. No wonder.
Down the
Sleeping here is
stairs.
so nice.
As we come back down, I'm gonna just like go right up to Echo and be like, so as we're walking, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Yes, our babysitters. We should know something about you.
First time I've been hired as a babysitter.
Yes, that's a
It's always
term
the
I
first
haven't
time
heard
for
before.
everything. Just wait till you get to be as old as I am. Then you have done lots of things for the first time.
Douse is just gonna be murmuring. He's like, and I got in trouble for calling her a child.
I'm not a child, okay?
Not like audibly, but that's his thought process and kind of like what he's going.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what would you like to know?
Oh, where are you from? Have you killed anyone? Are you married? Got any children? Don't worry, I'm not asking because I'm interested. I'm married myself with my own child, so no worries there. I'm just curious what your life is like.
She gets straight to the point, doesn't she, with you?
I mean, for me personally, not to be a cliche, but I honestly don't have much of a background. For lack of better words, I'm not quite sure where I come from.
Did you wake up when you were 12 with no memory?
Close. I woke up as an adult, I don't know what age, next to a burnt down home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Truly.
But without
Marilla's
memory.
gonna jam herself
part is
in
the
this
same.
conversation.
Did
you have burn marks on you?
What was that?
Did you have burn marks on you?
I prefer not to say.
Do you have tattoos on your cheeks? Like Merilla?
They're not tattoos.
They're like blue little strips down the side. I don't know.
Blue. And your strips.
If you look
Echo
at
is going to
if you look at Marilla's
shyly
picture,
pull
you
his
can
hood
see
a
them.
little deeper and say, I personally prefer to keep that private.
Wait. I'm gonna try and look under your hood.
Amaris is gonna grab Nuri's arm and like pull her away and just be like, he wants to keep it private.
What if are you an elf, perchance?
I believe so.
Okay, I understand.
You have an obsession with finding other elves, Nuri.
I mean, and then at that point he does lower his hood a bit, and you can see that he does have kind of like a covering over his face, and he kind of pulls the covering on the part that shows his eyes over a little bit, so you can see a point of an ear stick out. I do have these, if that means anything to you. And he pulls it back.
I think we've
Like half
established that
elf
he's an
ears or
elf.
full elf ears?
What was that?
Were they half elf or like full elf?
Full elf.
Full elf. are you a dark elf or were you just like a normal elf?
Normal elf.
Okay.
But you do notice some significant scarring on the ear.
Oh.
Nuri, he's definitely a pointy ear.
The quill appears in my hand. I'm like, this is so fascinating. I'm gonna write some stuff down. I'm like, what about you, Val?
I say, how about Val? He has a little bit more to talk about.
Are we walking out?
Yes, you guys are walking.
Okay,
You're
travel
leaving
talk.
town.
Let's go.
This is travel talk on the road.
I mean, Val and I, personally, we met a few years ago trying to investigate a similar case. There was a elf family that had been, they disappeared, and we were trying to find the people responsible, and after several years of investigating, we still have not managed to find the culprits, but we take cases here and there to help fund our search that he's helping me with.
An elf family?
For a man under wraps, you do say a lot, don't you?
I mean, they're asking about our background. It's not like we're trying to be secretive. I personally don't.
You can just ignore her. I understand completely.
I'm a little self-conscious of my appearance. It tends to be off-putting to others.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just one more question. Do you know by chance the family's name?
I am not totally familiar with what the family name is. All I know is that it was a woman and a young elf daughter that she had named Alicia.
Okay. And Amaris is going to turn and keep walking.
Do I recognize those names at all, DM, or is that just like
Which names?
Elise?
Alicia.
Alicia.
You don't recognize those names. They could be a different elf family.
I take note of how Amaris just walked away.
Alrighty,
Well, Val,
so
you haven't. Oh, sorry.
oh no, I was just going to say, as you're walking, like you guys feel a nice, like gentle breeze that's kind of casting away a little bit of the heat of the day. It is mid-afternoon at this point, as you guys are continuing to follow on a well-traveled path, um, dirt road kind of a thing down through the forest. It's not thickly forested, but it is generally pretty forested. Um, the trees every here and there. So as you guys continue to travel, you guys can continue to chat as well if you would like.
Oh, the breeze feels so nice. I mean, it is naturally warmer up here than I'm used to in this area of Combo, but sometimes it gets too hot, unpleasantly.
Douse will just take a little bit of water using shape water and just kind of like sprinkle it on top of Merilla. Not in a kind way, kind of just like a splash, but he's helping, but begrudgingly helping kind of a situation.
It works. I do feel a bit cooler now. It's good enough for old women to heal, to dehydrate. This could be rather bad. You'd have to carry me all the way.
I'm not going to carry you.
Well, no, you're a bit small for that.
Bird. That's what Nuri says.
Like,
he actually says that.
Like the same height.
It's like a little bit of water back at her.
You, elf, you seem to be very fond of taking notes of everything. Are you writing a novel or anything?
Oh, no, I love learning things.
Understandable. I can respect a intellect.
Thank you. Well, Val, you haven't told us about yourself. Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have no memory? Were you ever once an elf? I just feel like that's an important question today, and I don't know why.
Yes, the other tall boy. What about you?
Val has been trying to keep to himself for the most part. Usually, if he does talk, he's conversing with Echo. Not like in whispers, but not directed at the rest of the party. Upon the inquiry, he simply states, "Not an elf, not married, just out traveling, trying to help people where I can."
Nuri.
And he pulls out the bottle and he takes a swig of it.
Nuri, don't get too disappointed. He did answer all your questions.
Oh, no, he did. I was just taking note of the alcohol. What kind is it? Is it good? Can I
You
have some?
drink?
Can I have a little?
I don't believe you're old enough. I know you say that you're an adult, but I do not believe you are old enough.
How old are you?
I am a wonderful 65, thank you.
65? Are you sure?
That's not very old for an elf.
Well, no, but I am married and I do have a child. He's 10 years old now.
How am
Good enough
I,
for
the
me.
human,
And he
older
hands,
than the pointy ear?
he
That's
hands the bottle
Mary.
over. It is whiskey though, so it's hard, which you'll probably find out.
I'm gonna just take a quick gulp, then I'm really gonna be like, I'm gonna give it back.
Nuri, don't die. Don't die.
You
Takes it
do
back.
remember, Nuri, your husband very much enjoyed whiskey.
Whiskey's, I like wine better.
Wine's too soft. He takes another swig and he puts it away.
Thank
And
you.
he
I
continues
appreciate
walking
that.
forward.
This whole time, Dusty's kind of been ahead of you guys. He seems to have a sort of hurried pace to him as well.
Try not to get swept into the conversation.
As you guys are continuing down the road, it is starting to get dark out. It has been a pleasant afternoon walk at this time, but it is starting to get darker out. You think it may be time to find a place to camp for the evening before you set out the next day.
Merilla is going to reach up and touch her brooch. Sorry, casting light.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys look on the map, I've switched you guys to the forest map here so you guys can see. And you said you're casting light?
Yes.
Okay. So let me see if I can give you control over this. Controlled by Merilla. All right, so this little torch here gives light to where you're at. You can move it around, Merilla.
That's cool.
So, despite her casting light, before Val does much of anything, he'll set some of his sleeping gear onto the side, and he'll immediately pull out his lantern, light it, and he'll start to go around the area with it lit, looking around.
It's pretty small.
Okay.
It's only like
So,
20 feet.
are we going to sleep here next to the trail, or should we go a little bit away from the trail?
That depends what you're more afraid of, travelers or things that would find you off the trail.
I can set an alarm. That helps.
It can. My experience, happy medium tends to be best. Not so far. They're going to be eaten alive by a bear or wolf or something worse. But they're not so close that unwanted traffic might disturb you.
Could I do a check to see what kind of animals might be around this area that we're going to be camping at?
Yeah, make a nature check.
Nice. Oh, 13. Not bad.
Okay, awesome. So you, as you're kind of like traveling along, it is kind of more like plains and meadows. So you'd probably see more of like foxes, maybe some rabbits around in the area. Um, like you would probably see more coyotes. Not so much of wolves in the area, but more coyotes, owls, different little animals like that. Um, those would probably be about like the general animals you would know that would be in the area. Other like small birds like swallows and blue jays and stuff.
See
Just so
kind of-
you're aware, as Val is looking around with his lantern lit, looking about, he rolled a 12 on perception just to see if there should be anything of note.
In the local area, you see what you see. There doesn't seem to be anything specific to note except for if you look at the map, I'm gonna ping something on the far side of the map. Can you see over here with your vision?
Well, I'll let him say.
Merilla can. But only
Okay.
like the top of the ping.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I should be able to see.
Okay.
Val has dark vision.
Alrighty. So you can see kind of over in the distance, kind of like what looks to be like a large rock. But it looks more like shaped into something, but you can't really see much from where you're at right now. You would have to go over and like look more at it. But that would be the only thing that looks a little out of place here. Just kind of like a more carved shaped rock.
Man-made,
Val
not
will
natural.
Val will go investigate. He'll actually draw his rapier with his lantern held high to go and look in preparation.
Dusty sees Val headed out. He'll follow suit with his quarterstaff and shield in tow.
Alrighty, so you guys can move your characters on the map where you're going.
Are you going to secure a campsite for the night?
I don't know if Val would necessarily catch everything she's saying because he's going. So
Alrighty.
he's doing his own thing.
So what you guys can do is, what you can do is if you click and hold on your character, you can actually like drag him around on the map.
Real quick, do you know if there's a way to minimize or get rid of the player boxes in the middle of the screen?
Yes. So if you go to the settings, which is in the top right hand corner, and go under, let me see, audio and video. You scroll down and it says I can hear or see, and you just click none. And then I believe if you click on the video display there, it'll say player video / avatar size, and you click it and turn it to names only.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. We're good.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can see.
All right, back to the game.
Yeah,
Wanna
perfect.
Val start going that way.
There we go.
Yeah, he's going.
Alrighty. Just makes it a little easier when you guys can move your characters around.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So Dusty and Val are heading over towards the rock. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm like halfway there, halfway not.
Echo is
Close
looking
enough
for
to
a good
practice.
place to set up just camping gear for the night.
Okay, awesome. You kind of find that there's like a nice soft patch over here by the trees that you think would be a good place to set up camp. And Nuri, you said you're halfway kind of following. Okay, awesome. All right, so Val and Dusty, you guys kind of come up towards this rock. And it is pretty dark. If you want to, one of you can roll an investigation check.
I was about to say, with the lantern lit, though, it does shed. It kind of acts as a torch.
Okay.
So
You have that, and it does monstrosities, right?
hmm
Okay, yeah. It is not pinging you of anything or glowing in that regard of that specifically.
okay, he'll still roll an investigation check anyway. Yeah. Gosh, that's a 10.
It's a 10. What you can make from your investigation check is it looks to be like a marker of something, like it's marking something, almost like a cairn. But
Okay. Yeah, if there's nothing else of note, he'll take one last look around with the lantern, and then he'll just he'll extinguish it and start heading back.
okay, Dusty, was there anything you wanted to do as you followed Val and he kind of looked it once over and started turning back?
Dusty will head back with him.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and he'll sheath his rapier too, and start helping set up camp. So, and he'll set up his own, but then if there's anybody else that needs help, he will go over and help. He just won't be saying a whole lot.
Okay.
I'm going to start drawing a line in the ground with my, well, it can write on any surface pretty much.
Okay.
Just like a thin little white line as I go around. And I'm going to be doing ritual casting of alarm.
Okay, perfect. An alarm that makes it so that if anyone passes through, it wakes you up. How are you going to do it? As a loud raucous noise or something that just alerts you? Because you can do it either way.
A loud noise. Nuri can be a heavy sleeper.
Okay.
Well, actually, for 4 hours, I actually sleep. I'm hard to wake up.
But the 4 that you do sleep, you're like, not getting up for this.
In
Okay.
your travels, do you guys usually light a campfire?
Not usually for me, but I'm fine with whatever you guys want to do.
We usually don't. We can both see pretty well in the dark. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, I haven't really done much camping, so
I was
I
going to
haven't.
make a cooking fire at least.
Yes, Merilla?
So Marilla's not with you guys. I was
Oh.
waiting for you guys to be done with your talking thing.
We'll see. What were you going to say?
No, I'm done. Just chit-chatting, carrying on a
Okay.
conversation about nothing.
All right. Merilla, what were you looking at?
I was wondering if I could roll investigation or survival, because Marilla's going to continue walking up the path a little bit. It's kind of like checking up as far as her light will reach ahead on the path, and then also just like a brief, quick scan of the other side of the trail. Just looking for things that might be like crossing across, like wild animals or the whatnot.
Roll a I was like, so are you wanting to more look for like things of note in a sense? Actually, yeah, just roll perception then.
Perception?
Dusty will be following her and keeping an eye out with her.
14.
Okay. Awesome. So you do notice that like the other side seems to be clear. You actually can see catch it in out of the corner of your eye at one point. You see a bunny rabbit hopping out from like a bush. Um, seemingly kind of like nuzzles its nose a little bit.
You actually see Dusty kind of like jolt back when he sees it. He's not really looking for anything, but there's a rabbit there, and it kind of startles him a little bit, and he like hops up a little bit.
Are you afraid of bunnies?
Well, actually, yeah, they're just awful little creatures. I mean, just like looking down at it.
But they're so fluffy.
Don't really have much like that in the desert. It's just so fluffy. Yeah.
I imagine in the desert, they probably are not that fluffy.
No.
She tries to think about what a not fluffy bunny rabbit would look like.
Probably
Kinda
pretty
shaking
scary.
towards it.
You guys see the bunny rabbit kind of like its ear twitches and perks and it looks at you guys, like seemingly hearing the noise that you guys are making, and it like
Hey,
freezes.
He raises his quarterstaff slowly.
And no, just kidding. It runs away.
Monty Python, Killer Bunny.
The killer bunny.
You see him like
Have you ever
visibly
been
relax a little bit.
By a bunny, Dusty?
It's gone.
I've been too careful for it to happen.
Right. She
Totally.
continues. Go back to the path.
Okay. And that's about it as you make it. Seems like the area around is pretty clear.
Echo is just going to lean up against the tree and start quietly playing on his lyre to himself.
Okay. And is that okay? Yeah. Right. So you are quietly playing to yourself, sitting by the tree. Nuri, you have successfully drawn a circle around like all your campsite in the sense of like around all the beds and everything. And did you guys light a fire or no?
I was going to light one and start trying to make some. So I have a recipe for apple pie. Could I make a cobbler with that?
You can attempt to make a cobbler with that.
I am going to attempt to make a cobbler. Not that I know it's a cobbler, but I'm going to try and make something like an apple pie while we're camping.
Do you have apples? And sugar?
I didn't get the chance. Ah! Next time.
Next
And
time.
grass. I don't know. You can try.
You do have some rations, so you could probably warm up some of those.
And then add some leaves and maybe
I have like
grass.
spices, but
Dandelions.
Mm-hmm.
As
You
he's
did-
trying to light the fire, can Echo use prestidigitation to light it for him?
Yes, you as you're lighting the fire, Douse, all of a sudden it just like bursts into flames.
this normally doesn't happen from where I'm from.
So, yeah, the fire is intense. Like singes
Well,
a
he's
couple of
going
the
to-
water droplets.
So he doesn't have the ingredients to make it, but he's still going to try and make something.
Okay, you can try and make something. There's a lot you can do. You can make almost like a
gonna try and make some
leftover stuffing biscuits with rations.
Yeah. He's going to attempt to make some biscuits. Because he has
Okay.
rations. He knows they need to be a powder.
So you're gonna try and make some biscuits. All right, I need you to, there's not like a cooking skill to roll with. So I'll just say, hold on, I'm gonna
There's
Proficiency in
cooking tools that would be
okay,
useful.
yeah, so use cooking tools, which would technically be a dex skill, right? So it'd be your dex, I would say. So make a dexterity roll, but if you're proficient in cooking tools, add your proficiency bonus to the roll as well as your dex modifier.
I'm not yet.
Okay. Yet. You can get training to get proficient in it.
17.
17.
Hey.
Okay. You kind of like haphazardly you're trying to remember and think about like how Katie showed you one time to make like biscuits kind of haphazardly, and they end up kind of being little like hard mounds, almost like a scone more than like a soft biscuit. But you're able to make this semicircular scone biscuit, hard biscuit, I guess, more like a sea biscuit.
Yeah, meatballs, but made out of dough.
Yes, kind of like that. There we go. But you can make a few of those. You could probably make about 3 with just like one set of rations.
And like some seasoning. I have like a little bit of salt on them.
Yeah, you seasoned it a little bit, so now you have those.
Yes.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna just start my trance. Be like, oh, I'll see you in 4 hours, then I can take watch. You're gonna just cut up to the tree, go to sleep.
Okay.
Wow. That was fast. And she kind of like sidle up near, not right next to Douse. Oh, look what you have there.
Did you want one?
I certainly wouldn't refuse the grand kindness of someone giving me food.
Fair enough. Tell me what you think. I need someone to
Thank
test
you,
it out
Douse.
anyways.
She takes a hearty bite out of the biscuit.
It's
How's it
just
taste?
dough and salt.
It tastes like dough and salt. It's not bad. She continues to eat it.
My apologies, I'm learning. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Learning is good. Learning is good. Again, it's not bad. What would be awful is if I put it in my mouth and then it tasted awful. But thankfully
Well,
it did. Good job.
I appreciate the compliment. You can have the other 2 if you would like. I'm just going to eat my rations tonight.
You sure you don't want the rest?
I will have 1.
Then she
I
takes
should at least
the
know
other
what
one.
I'm eating.
Hey. Awesome. So, and the box for everyone listening is Sierra's alarm. I was just wondering where the perimeter was of it. So that's like technically your campsite over there. Alrighty. So as you guys are
20
enjoying
feet. It's a little bigger than that.
5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, each square is 5 feet technically.
Okay.
So that is the size of it.
I mean, we don't need the entire camp inside that square. We could still do stuff outside of it, but
Yeah, of course.
sleeping
This
wise,
is just
it'd probably be safest.
Mhm. Okay. So as you guys are there, you're finishing up cooking up your biscuits and you're trying them, and they're pretty delightful. You like the spices that you've added and stuff like that. Um, Give me one moment.
Dusty, where'd you learn to make these?
Did you just call me Dusty? Or Dusty?
Douse. Not Dusty.
Dusty pats up his head. He's like, I didn't make those. That was gestures.
Stay asleep. I'm talking to Douse.
These were just an attempt. I seen Katie do a few. I was able to sneak a few peeks at her making biscuits, and she allowed me to watch a little bit. She still doesn't let me see the sauce, which is where the secret ingredient lies.
That's what we want to know.
But
It's true.
I thought I would try my hand at making some biscuits.
Just for
Well,
a
again,
moment.
they didn't turn out too bad.
So as Merilla says that, Douse, you feel your arm that's holding the pot go chill, and you feel cold, like this cold piercing, like thorn has like burrowed itself deep within you. And your hand starts to shake as you're like holding your skillet. Um, take, oh, I counted 6, 7, 8, 9, wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points of necrotic damage. You
Okay, this is not in. What is this from? Is this from my bracelet or something else?
It's from something else. As you look
Okay.
down, you see a spectral, ghostly hand gripping onto your arm. It seems to be coming out of the ground, and it's like ghostly, faint pale white. It seems to be like coming from the ground. And as you look down, you see this nightmarish undead face whole like rise from the ground right in front of you, and it's staring at you just and it's just going.
Ah! I throw the pot at it. I just book it.
Merilla also
Give it-
screams.
Roll initiative.
Gonna book it over here.
So first, put yourself back where you are.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do I make it over there before initiative?
Are we
Roll
all
initiative.
included in the initiative?
Yeah, you can roll initiative because you would have heard some sort of and you would have heard Douse screaming if he screamed.
Oh, I screamed.
Merilla definitely did too.
Not expecting a undead creature to be grabbing his arm.
Oh,
Keep
hey, I
coming,
got a
He was just
natural
about to
20.
say like, "Oh, Douse, you look as awful as you did yesterday."
And Merla, you see this like head rising up as you're saying that, just like out of the ground. But you only see the back of its hair, so you see this ghostly white, like, tendrils, like just like kind of floating off the back of its head. And as its head kind of cocks to the side, Douse, you see its jaw like unhinge, like in this just horrible visage that you see of this undead. Just like it's spectral, but it almost looks like the pale white of its face is like peeling, and you see like the part of the bone of its teeth and jaw. It is very scary. Alrighty, so
So, question as a player,
yes.
Merilla still has her light cast.
Mhm.
If it doesn't do anything, it doesn't do
Well,
anything.
but
It
there's
does.
also the light of the campfire.
That's true.
Yeah, so it had rolled disadvantage to hit him, and it still hit. So yes, the light did do something. It does not seem to be happy about the light, but let's see. Okay, so initiative. So Marilla, you got an 8, Megan a 14, Douse a 9. Dusty, you got a nat 20 on initiative. Okay.
The natural 21.
Nice. Okay. And then Sierra, you got a 21, dirty 21. Dang, that's still impressive. So what did Val and Echo get?
We're not sure how to roll initiative on the thing.
That's okay. You can
Yes,
roll it in
if you-
person.
You can roll in person,
We
but
trust
also if
you.
you open up your character sheet. So, do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So open up your character sheet, and where it has initiative next to armor class, just hit the initiative, like the word itself.
Okay.
I'll say that Val got a 23.
Okay, Val got a 23. Was it a natural 20?
No.
Okay.
Close.
Very close.
Okay, so Val,
close.
you got a 23. And then what did Echo get?
Echo was 10.
10. Okay, so you're gonna go before Douse. Okay. So let me roll for them real quick. It's a 12. Okay. Write that down. Okay.
Echo was 10.
Yep.
I was just writing it so we have it there in case you wanted to look at it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just gonna write down the initiative here on my little paper real quick, so just bear with me. So since your initiative bonus is technically higher, Nuri will go after Val, and then it will be Dusty. Parker, Brandon, one thing that we do here as kind of like one of our like homebrew rules that we do is that if you get a natural 20 on initiative, you get an extra action on your first round of
Ooh.
combat.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Dang.
And if you roll a nat 1 on initiative, then you lose your action. You still have your movement and your bonus action on your first turn, but you lose your action.
I always
Mhm.
gave people advantage if they rolled a nat 20. I gave them advantage on their
Ooh.
first attack. But
Oh, that's awesome.
That's high. That's a whole other action.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
fun.
I like it.
Okay, so Dusty, then it would be Megan. So Amaris. Then it would be BG. Okay, Echo. Douse and Merilla. Okay. Now
The
that
two
we
people
have
who see it do not get to go until after.
Yep. You guys were so frightened by the ghost. Um Oh my goodness.
Now,
Choking on my
did
own
I
spit.
still, because I screamed and I threw the pot at it, does that still happen, or does that? I said that
Um
before you had me roll.
yeah, so you can scream and like the pot is in your hand and it's like gripping your arm. Um Oh, I forgot something about this. You need to make a constitution saving throw for that first hit.
Oh. And so for this, I'm just going to my saving throws for
Yeah.
Brandon and Parker, right? Or is it? But yeah, just saving throws, and I'm just hitting Constitution, and that will roll for me on here as well. So 17.
17? Okay, you succeed. Nothing else detrimental happens. So you can throw the pot at it. I'll just say it straight up because you are scared. Even though it is right in front of you, you would get like
Yeah.
yeah.
My intention was that was like a reaction of this thing happened, but
Okay, yeah. So roll to an attack throw, just a dexterity, I guess, check to throw the pot at it.
18.
18. Okay, awesome. You
It's
let me
not
see.
magical at all. Probably just went right through it, but
Yes. Let me see. It's yeah, it just seems to like go right through right through it. But do roll since it's a pot, I'd say roll 1d4. It does
it
take
doesn't do
half
like
damage.
just a 1 damage or.
So pretty much it's resistant, so it takes half damage.
Okay.
So just roll 1d4. So we'll just say it takes 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Let me get the monster up here. Now that I'm realizing I need to throw the monster on there. The monster, the monster. Okay.
The monster.
Yeah. This one has.
Okay, so as you were
-1.
describing the monster, my brain went Dementor. Except for Dementors don't have like bone that you can see of the like the fallen flesh and stuff. It was just I think it was mainly the jaw thing.
Yeah, the
like-
jaw thing. The kiss. Don't worry, these guys won't try to kiss you to death. So.
Oh,
Good.
dude, they should know I'm single. It's always no, I'm kidding.
Merilla's just a little bit disappointed.
No, Douse is disappointed. Merilla's not disappointed.
Okay. Alrighty, so top of the round, Val, it is your turn. You hear a scream, and you can kind of see, actually, technically it'd be right on the light here. And you can kind of see a faintly like pale white ghostly figure kind of peeping out of the ground there. Um yeah, attacking Douse.
Hmm. That was me.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're Val.
Yeah, Val. Yeah, Val, sorry.
So, let's see. Val is going to. He is going to actually. He's going to shoot his short bow at it. And I believe I have advantage on an attack as a bonus action if I'm motionless. So I'm not
Okay.
going to move. Yeah. Okay, not bad so far. Nat 20? Oh,
Close.
Oh, why is it so close every time?
What'd you roll?
I rolled an 11, then I rolled a 19.
Oh, so close.
So I mean, I'm imagining it's gonna hit anyway, so I won't bother with the modifier. We are gonna shoot it. Let's see, that's gonna be 6 damage for the first attack.
Alrighty.
Oh, wait, yeah, just for my attack. Sorry. So,
It does only take half damage.
no.
As
I
it seems
figured.
the arrow just like kind of flies through it. Douse, make a dexterity saving throw real quick.
Oh, I thought I had a better angle than that.
Oh boy.
He's like
babysitters are hurting us.
right on him.
Dex save. Here we go.
No. So it kind of the arrow just kind of like nicks the side of your leg a little bit
You rolled
just
a
because
7.
it's oh, he did. Yeah, he rolled a 7. So the arrow kind of nicks your leg, the side of it a little bit. So not enough to do. It does 1 point of damage. So it's just very, very little. Um, and but it was just a little too close for comfort because it's right there in front of you, like just so close. You literally could like just barely move forward and you'd be in it.
And that's when Val will realize that it's a specter ghost, not something solid.
There you go. Alrighty, and was that your turn, Val?
Yeah, that would be it.
All right, Nuri, your turn. You're up.
Well, Nuri is gonna come too because she was in a trance. See, it's like halfway out of the ground. The ghost is. It's like coming out of the ground.
Yeah, it's like its head and its arm is out.
So she looks to what the screaming noises, sees the ghost, and just freaks out. Her eyes just get big wide. She looks a little crazed. She like jumps to her feet and like scrambles backwards quite a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I think she can make it to there.
Oh wow.
Scrambled back.
Like the extent of her movement.
Fear is going to wait, let me see if this one's close enough. Make a flaming sphere because she's so freaked out.
Like a spiritual weapon or
no, like a flaming sphere.
Oh,
just like
a spear, not like a spear, but like an orb.
Cool.
Okay.
So it's gonna appear right here.
All right, I'm going to put a little light there.
Okay, that's my light because I know.
Yes, I'm gonna make it so
too.
you can control this light.
Cool.
And we're gonna make this a warm. It's like an orangey fireball light. I mean, I guess it's like a fire orb. I should probably make it a little more intense than orange. I tried. Alrighty.
Okay, so if it ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere, wait, any creature that ends its turn, needs to make a dexterity saving throw or take fire damage.
So if the creature ends its turn there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
It
technically
doesn't-
not the end of its turn, but yes.
Does that include Merilla and myself, or is it just enemies?
If you're within 5 feet of it, but you guys are not within 5 feet of it. Well, okay,
Currently.
Merilla is.
Marilla's within 5 feet of it. It's really hot. This fiery orb just appears out of nowhere. It kind of blinds you for a moment. Oh, I guess actually you had the campfire and then your light. So it's like it's just this another light that just appears, this flaming orb. You don't know who it's from. It could be from the ghost, from all you guys know. Like it just
So is it-
appeared
So is it like a flame light or is it like a glow?
like a fire.
Fire.
Okay.
It's literally a ball of fire.
Okay.
Yeah, a ball of magical fire.
Fire.
Alrighty, Nuri, that's your turn?
Yep.
Okay, Dusty.
So this time, Dusty's kind of been. He's been pretending to set up camp, but he has suspiciously kept his weapons and stuff in his hands. And as soon as the people start screaming, he like stands up straight and he's like, I knew it was the rabbit. He turns around, he looks across the way and he's like, oh, wait, never mind. But he doesn't skip a beat and he runs straight towards it. As he's running, he casts Shillelagh on his quarterstaff
Let's go.
and he's gonna.
All right,
run on
familiar
over.
vines wrap around like desert grass. I can't remember what the plant is called. Actually, you guys might, since you guys are from Arizona, it's I want to say it's like greasewood, or there's like this plant that starts that when water comes on it, it smells like rain.
Mesquite.
Mesquite? No, it's not mesquite.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. You guys are muted, but it's like a desert plant.
Are you talking about like vines, or are you talking about trees, or?
It's like a bush, like a greasewood bush almost.
Creosote. Creosote is one of the most iconic plants known in desert. It's often
We have
cited as a
creosote.
plant that gives the desert.
There's ironwood's kind of a bush type
Okay.
wood. It's very hard though. I don't know
Okay.
if that's what you're necessarily talking about.
That's okay. We'll go with the curacao, or what you guys were saying with that. We'll just say it's like it's like this bushy type plant that like kind of appears around his staff, basically.
He'll run up and he'll transform that as he's running, and he's going to make 2 attacks at him with his 2 actions.
Okay. Alrighty. Roll to hit.
Did Dusty run through the ghost and the flaming sphere and the campfire?
Did
If
you?
I did, that's even better. I mean, he's so the path he's going for the path of least resistance. If that means he jumps like through the fire and takes some fire damage, that's actually better for him. So we'll say he did that on purpose.
You jumped, okay. Well, you actually do take damage for that.
Yeah, he'd like
oh
put his
my
foot
goodness.
as he's running. He'd like put his foot down into the campfire and cast absorb elements as a reaction.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Love that spell.
So
Spicy.
it depends on how much damage I take, though.
Okay, it's
As-
2d6 fire damage.
So roll the damage, Sierra.
As he runs through the fire, Val's thinking in his head, he's like, I really am a babysitter for these guys. Like, what the
He's
what
like,
are they doing?
they're running through fire, they're running away into the dark, they're like
Yeah.
Okay.
cooking outside of the alarm area of effect.
So by
It's 9
cast-
points of fire.
By casting absorb elements, I'll take only half damage. I'll have resistance to it. I can actually send it to the chat.
And you can
Okay.
store it for damage later.
And
His
I'm
next
going
turn.
to store it for damage later on my next turn.
It's a cool little spell.
Yeah, and I'll use the second level spell slot for that, so it'll be 2d6.
Dang.
And then I'm going to, let's see, that would mean, do I take 4 damage or 5 damage?
Yeah, you always round down.
Okay, so 4. So that brings me down 18, and I'm going to make the 2 attacks with my shillelagh, which was a 19 and an 18 to hit.
Okay.
Okay, first damage, second damage. It does count as magical.
Oh,
because
it
of
does count. Oh,
shillelagh.
yeah, because of the shillelagh. So he does take the full brunt of it, which is 8 damage total.
Yep.
Oh, wrong button. Okay, as you hum down with your shillelagh with the staff, it seems like the vines are just like almost as if like spores of it are like kind of coming off and are like damaging, like the essence of this magic is damaging the ghost, and it kind of shrieks and actually lets go of Douse's arm, his wrist, as it starts going like screaming and just kind of this noise, this banshee like, no, I guess not banshee like, but just kind of like an undead, creepy scream. Yeah, okay, and was that your turn, Dusty?
Yep.
Okay, Amaris, your turn.
Okay, so Amaris hears the screams, turns to see it. And she's going to run over 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She's going to run over behind Merilla.
Okay.
And like as she's doing it, she's kind of no, it's a 5-foot sphere. She's not by it at all. But she like comes up behind Merilla and do just like kind of like a twirl so that as she's going it her I think this is how it works. She does this twirl so that her fingers just kind of like strum across Marilla's back as she casts Enhance ability.
Okay.
Playing with the strings of life.
I totally thought you were about to say like strum the lute on her back, like.
I mean, can I?
Yeah, you can strum the lute on her back because that's your magic. You're a bard. Like,
Sweet. Oh, come on. I don't know why it's not pulling this up for me right now. What? I might have to refresh. Hold on.
okay, so
Okay, we're back. Hold on. I think I can pull it up now. There we go. Much better.
okay.
So enhance ability. Oh, I'd click on that to put it in the chat.
All right, so you're bestowing upon it magical enhancements. Choose one of the following effects. So which effect are you giving her?
Okay, What kind of saving throws would she need to make if this creature attacked her?
I mean, you wouldn't technically know that, but you would assume that it's like undead, necromancy, more based on your constitution. You would kind of assume.
Or based on constitution. Then I will choose Bear's Endurance. The target has advantage on constitution checks. It also gains 2d6 temporary hit points, which are lost when the spell ends.
Okay, awesome. And it lasts it's a concentration spell up to an hour. So if you take damage, you'll have to roll to make sure that you're maintaining concentration on that spell. But Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. So that was your turn, Amaris. Okay, now it is the bad guy's turn. It is the specters. So the specter is not very happy with all the light and everything that's been placed on it. So it's what is it gonna do? It's going to kind of move over here, so you do get an attack of opportunity, Dusty.
I'm
On
gonna
it.
take it. Do I have
Oh.
my bonus damage from my absorb elements, or would that be my next turn?
I would say you probably have it.
I'm gonna try to hit it. 13 to hit.
13 does hit.
Okay, nice. So that is 7 magic damage plus 2d6 fire damage.
Oh.
So 7 magic, and then magic bludgeoning, and then an additional 7 fire damage.
Okay, so it does take half damage on the fire. So it'd be 4. Oh my gosh, you actually it starts to kind of try to run away, and like move to kind of get out of the way of your staff, but you kind of flick your staff down and you smash, and you actually see the kind of the bushy vines on it crush into almost like this spectral skull. You see it just like kind of encase around your staff, and then it just fades away. Seems like it just completely disappears and vanishes. But what also happens on this turn is Nuri. Hello. Coming over to you. So you see, as you are kind of panicking in the back here, you see a head start peeking up, right? In like kind of coming out of the ground above, right in front of this, like, or right by this stone here, but it's darker, more withered. You see spectral black, like, cloak on it, kind of billowing out as it starts to kind of raise up. Its eyes are not actually looking at you, but it is looking at the ground in front of the carved stone. And you see, as it comes out, it seems like its hand is curled, twisted, and almost directed towards the ground, as you see a white spectral head kind of rising out of the ground. Um, make an insight check real quick.
All this is happening in those 6 seconds.
Yes, exactly. Just coming up. It happens a lot faster because it is within 6 seconds, but I'm slow mowing it.
Wrong.
It's the fear. It's the fear. It's all happening in
Yes.
slow motion.
It is the fear.
There we go.
You got a nat
terrified,
1
man.
on insight.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
terrified.
she
But
does have a
total of
plus
5.
4, so
Yeah,
I mean,
you're like-
total is 5.
You're like, why is it coming out of the ground? Yeah, you just
I'm
see
freaking out.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little marker. Hold on, I have to move him over here so I can see the markers.
He's there. Let's go get him, guys.
Oh yeah,
Whoa!
totally. No,
Do you know he's there?
No.
he's over here. So this one, the white one, seems to be coming out from right in front of the carved stone. And then
Wait,
the black.
is the white one the one with the blue dot, or the one without the
No.
blue dot?
The one with the blue dot is the black one.
The black one. Okay, and the
Yeah.
white one. Okay.
Yeah, so the white one is like, looks like to be almost like, it's got its arms crossed in front of its chest, like kind of like the X dead one, as it's kind of rising out of the ground, and the black one seems to be raising it up, basically. And that's its turn. As it finishes, the white one, its ghostly eyes almost snap open as it twitches its head to the side, and you see its jaw kind of like loll and kind of like kind of twitch, unhinges, yes. And the
Can I
black
just
one,
scream?
yes, you can just scream.
I just scream.
Okay, so you're screaming, and the black one, its gaze, it doesn't snap to you, but it slowly turns and kind of cocks its head towards you. And that's the
Once
end
it
of.
makes eye contact at me, I stop screaming immediately.
Okay, so that was the bad guy's turn, and now it is Echo's turn. You hear a scream come from behind you.
So, upon seeing everything happening in front of me, I've remained seated so far because I can see that the group clearly has it handled. But upon hearing the scream behind me, I turn, and as my reaction to what I'm seeing, Echo is going to switch from the song he was currently playing to playing a much more discordant melody, and he's going to cast Dissonant Whispers at the black spectral figure.
Okay, awesome.
So it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw, okay.
Sorry, I didn't have time to enter my spells into Roll20, so I can't pop it up.
You're totally okay. It rolled. I'm trying to see if it. Okay, yeah, it got a 5 for its wisdom saving throw.
So that is going to be a fail. So it's going to take 22 psychic damage, and it has to use its reaction to move as far away from me as it can.
Okay, alrighty.
The real question is, what is so scary enough to make something dead run away?
Yeah, the dissonant whispers. Yeah, I was like trying to see. Is that what type of damage is that though?
Psychic damage.
Psychic damage? Okay. Just had to make sure. And is it like petrified or frightened? Is that the effect that
it's frightened?
Frightened? Okay, no, yeah. It totally is affected by that. So alrighty, it is frightened of you.
I like to imagine that the Dissonant Whispers was like a Rickroll in its head, and it was like, no!
It's like, not the
Just hears the
meme!
drum.
Nice.
Escape this. No,
Okay.
out of character, what I did with my Dissonant Whisper was I gave it a mental image of the Grim Reaper coming for the wayward soul that's causing issues.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. It is sufficiently frightened. And is that your turn?
Yes, that is my turn. And I'm also actually going to move a little more in view, just right there.
All right, perfect. It is now Douse's turn.
Well, this problem over here is taken care of. So
After Dusty just came and murdered it for you, basically.
Yep. To get over here, do I have to run through? Was it Nuri's
Well,
fire elemental friend?
her sphere is the orange one.
Okay. So I would run over there into the alarm area and then hold my turn because I'm assuming everything's kind of taken care of over here. I'm going to run over here and... Oh, there's 2 more.
You're like, oh no.
See if I go down one. Nope, I don't see him. There's not much I can do. So I will hold my turn to use a new ability of mine, if I can, which is, I believe it's Water Whip.
Water whip. Okay.
Once I have a clear shot, I will use Water Whip on one of the enemies.
So what does a clear shot look like for you?
a line of sight that will not hit either Val or Echo because they're currently in front of me.
Okay. Well, so technically the square that's there is like 5 feet and you wouldn't like hit them. So if you have the range, you could try and like strike at them. Strike
Do I
at
have
it.
the range? Ooh, I need them to come 5 feet closer, I think.
I'm not sure if it will. That's the problem. He has to run away.
Yeah, they have to be within 30 feet of me. So
Okay.
clear shot
So
and that they're in range.
alrighty. So if you can get a clear shot of within 30 feet in range, then you will use water whip.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So holding your action for that. Merilla, your turn.
So Merilla is gonna see Dusty just like just compound the spectral skull, and she's like, and just then I'm imagining Amaris also does the on the loot on her back. She's like, what is going on? She's gonna hear Nuri scream, turn around. There must be more. Dang it. And she is going to
The fire from the orb is pretty warm, and you do think and feel like you want to get away from it.
yeah. She is going to move to the other side of Amaris. And from here she can see the spectral things. She is going to cast vicious mockery. It's like, you're hideously ugly.
Alrighty.
Charisma 13.
Okay, so wisdom saving throw by which one? The black one or the white one?
The one that's closer.
Okay, so that
Sorry,
one's the
I
one with
don't
the blue
know.
dot, that's the black one. It makes a 8 for a wisdom saving throw, so it fails.
It's charisma.
Oh, a charisma?
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
still an 8.
I think. Okay, cool. So it's just 1d4.
Man, this one is just getting psychologically ruined. 3 points of damage. Okay. As you say that, you hear this like it's a little bummed. That hurt.
And for Marilla's bonus section, she's gonna call out to Nuri. Don't let the ugly faces get at you. Bardic inspiration.
Okay, awesome. So now you have Bardic Inspiration, Nuri. And we go back to the top of the round. It is Val's turn.
All right. So Val is going to notice where Echo is dealing with. You'll see the two right there. And he will again take a shot, making sure nobody's in the way this time. Let's see here. And since he's motionless still, he hasn't moved at all. He's going to have... Oh, I'm so glad I have advantage. There you go.
Much better.
Yeah, I got a nat 1 and a 16.
Ooh, ouch.
So, yeah. So I'm going to do that. But I would imagine, would this include sneak attack as well?
So sneak attack, you'd have to be within 5 feet of the enemy or 5 feet of a companion.
Does advantage work for sneak attack? Just having advantage?
Yeah, advantage
Oh,
works.
yeah. Advantage works? Okay, yeah. Then you have sneak attack.
Yes. Yeah, because rogues, instead of taking a second attack, it's the sneak attack that makes
Okay.
them what they are. So we're going to cause, let's see.
And this is all piercing damage?
Yeah. 5,
This man a +1 crossbow, please.
11. It's going to do 16 damage total.
Okay. It takes half of that.
Yeah.
That is, oh my gosh, my brain. That is 13. Right? Wait, no. That is 9. 9 points of damage. Okay. Alrighty, on the black one, right?
Yes, whichever
Okay.
one. Yeah, I would imagine it's just the one that's closest. He's not even thinking about which one's necessarily been hit. He's just shooting
Alrighty.
at whatever's unfriendly right off
Yeah,
the bat.
the black one is the closest
And
one, so.
he's kind of aware that he's not doing a whole lot to help, but he's not in the nature to just not do anything either.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Alrighty, so that was your turn. Now, Nuri, your turn. You're up. Oh, yeah, Nuri.
Merilla, high or low?
Oh, that's Merilla.
Hi.
Merilla. Nuri is absolutely terrified, and when the black thing like looked at her, like the color just drained from her face completely, and she like started to step backwards, trembling, and it was probably gonna fall. But then Marilla's words come into her mind, fill her with some inspiration. The fear seems to like shake out of her eyes for a moment, and instead she's just filled with like this burning rage. And
Yes.
you can kind of see, like, if anyone were close, they could actually see like hatred, like just radiating off of her. And she reaches forward her hands and casts Burning Hands right on the two right in front of her.
So is that a touch spell or a range
No,
spell?
it's a 15
A cone?
foot cone.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
Okay.
So they need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Alrighty, they will do that.
And it's creating fire. I don't know if that does anything because it's light, but you know.
Yeah, it just gives them like disadvantage when they're around light.
Okay.
So not much like that. But what does it have to beat?
I'm gonna look at what my
Your spell save DC.
13. It's not high.
Okay, they both fail. I am rolling really bad for all their saving throws.
You're saving the good ones
Okay.
for when it counts. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
Get your
totally.
TPKs.
Yes, the TPK.
So they each take 11 points of fire damage.
Okay, they're resistant to that, so they'll take 5. Oh, I didn't put this
and
one's in. -5. There we go.
well, now that I know that. Okay.
Well, you shoot out the fire and it seems to singe them a little bit, but it also like just goes straight through them. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna just like sprint away. And for my bonus action, I'm gonna move my flaming sphere forwards.
okay. And you can actually pick it up and move it.
Let's see. 5, 10.
All right, while you're doing that, we're going to go to
Figure out-
Dusty's turn.
Are you moving it through the tree?
Around the tree.
Just want to make
It's
sure.
going around the trunk.
Let's see, so Dusty's gonna move his way up here. Oh yes, look, there they are. Then he's going to bring up his free hand, and he's going to use a small totem. He's going to wave it around in the air for a moment and bring down a totem next to him. A totem with the visage of a bear. Right there.
Merilla was so excited for the unicorn to come back.
She got so excited. I don't need the unicorn right now. I need the bear right now. And so, with the bear, everyone within 30 feet feels bolstered and gains 5, 6, 7, 8 temporary hit points.
8?
Everyone friendly to us gains 8 temporary hit points. And
I think that's everyone.
yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Temporary hit points don't stack, so whichever temporary hit points total is higher is what Merilla will end up with.
Oh, I was about to. Okay.
But y'all can
Wait,
absorb some hits.
was it 6 or 8?
8.
Okay.
And then let's see. With that, Dusty is going to cast a spell, bringing his totem hand down. He's going to point it towards the creatures and cast Ice Knife, which will do some cool stuff. So first, I make a ranged spell attack. I'm going to try to hit the further one.
Okay. So the white
That
one?
one there. So I'm going to roll to hit. Should be. I believe this automatically will do it. Yes. So it says DC 13, but that's just the roll to hit. So 13 hit.
13 to hit on the white one?
Yep.
Okay, you hit. All right, and it's actually resistant to both piercing and cold, so it'll only take half of that.
The piercing will be magical just because it is a spell, though.
Okay, so then we'll take the full amount of the -4.
So 4 piercing and then 2 cold.
Yeah, 2 cold.
Yeah, and the cold damage explodes, and they both have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
or
okay.
take 2d6 cold.
Well, it nat 1. So it's going to take, you said how much damage?
5 cold damage or half, and both of them make the dex saving throw. It
Yeah,
explodes out
the other one, and your spell save DC is what?
13.
13. Okay, the other one failed as well. They are just not they're not moving around at all today. It's a lazy day for them. So you said 4 points of cold damage?
4 points piercing, 5 points cold. The piercing is only the one I actually hit.
So but in the explosion, how much damage should they take?
5 cold.
5 cold. Okay, so he's gonna take the one who failed is gonna take 2 because that's half, and then the one that really failed, we're gonna say he takes the full brunt of the damage, because he just nat 1 on that.
Failed so badly he lost resistance.
Exactly. Failed so spectacularly, basically. Let's see real quick. So now it is their. Oh wait, no, it is Amaris's turn.
Okay, let's see here. So I'm over there. The next 2 are over there. So I can get about here, it looks like. I am going to point at the one with the blue dot on it.
Okay.
And this is probably going to bring down the spell on Merilla.
Is it a concentration spell?
Yes.
Okay. So then, yeah, Merilla, yours is broken.
I feel less
And I'm
like a
gonna
bear
cast-
now.
Yeah, gonna cast True Strike.
Okay. Alrighty, so you point your finger at the black one, the one with the blue dot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you like humming something or
I'm just gonna do a soft as I
Okay.
cast it.
all right, as you cast it, and you kind of feel your eyes like almost flicker and see into his defenses, and you can kind of see where hitting him or striking him would be best. So you will receive advantage on your next attack roll against him. Okay.
Sweet.
Alrighty. So that was your turn. Now it is the bad guy's turn. It is now the specters / wraith's turn. As let's see. So the wraith must get as far away from Echo as possible. So what he's gonna do. How long does the frightened condition last? Or does he have to make a save at the end of his turn?
It's just one round. They just have to run.
Okay. So he's basically going to like disappear off the map. Not in the sense of he runs so far away, but it seems like he actually like kind of runs like in an opposite direction of you or floats. And then he goes underneath the ground. And you see him vanish. The other one, kind of, he actually still had his arms crossed the entire time that you guys were like beating on him. And, he now like brings them down Black Panther style. And he's going to fly towards you guys. And he's actually going to come for Amaris because she's the closest one. The alarm rings a thunderous noise. Well, I guess it's not like super thunderous, but it's a loud like alarm starts blaring. But he pays it no mind as he comes to strike at Mars. Nat ones.
I guess he
yes.
wasn't as undisturbed by the alarm as you thought.
He was disturbed by the alarm. He comes to strike down, and the alarm like rings, and you see him kind of like falter backwards a little bit. And he's like kind of grips like his spectral ears that like are one of them isn't even there. It's just like a hole. As he's gripping, and he like kind of is looking all around like. And that's his turn. That's all he can do.
That triggers my held action, doesn't it?
It does trigger your held action. It is a clear shot, and he is within range, so you can use Water Whip.
Water Whip. So I spend 2 key points. And the creature must make a dexterity saving throw.
It fails. It rolled a 2.
Right.
Not a nat 1, but a 2. I rolled 2 nat 1s tonight, guys.
23 damage.
Okay. Bludgeoning damage. Okay. So here's what happens, Douse. As you do this, you feel your bracelet turn chill. And as you cast like the Water Whip, kind of bringing it out, it seems to be more water than you expected starts spurting out, and it actually ends up becoming 4 different whips that come and strike down on this spectral creature, and it one of them slashes through his arm, the other through the torso, one straight down the middle, and then another one just comes and strikes straight through where a heart would be. And it actually dissipates. It just completely like is totally dead now. But you notice that the water, it's not dissipating. It starts to kind of go a little wild, and it's starting to flail about, and there's water spurting everyone around you. So everyone within I'd say within a 10-foot radius, so everyone in the ray of alarm, it's almost like it suddenly is raining on you guys as water is like dripping down off the Water Whip, and it's crashing down onto you guys. You're getting sopping wet. The whip is kind of flailing in the air as 4 different like whips of water are kind of almost like a kraken. It's flying around in the air. So that was your held action, and we're gonna go to Echo. It is your turn.
Are there any enemies left, or
Not that you can see. So we're gonna still
then if
stay in
that's the
initiative.
case, Echo is going to move out of this water because it is not pleasant, and kind of just shake himself off and try to look around and see if he can detect any other threats.
Alrighty, roll perception. That'll be your action.
That would be a 1 second. Mod 20.
A mod 20? Okay. Yeah, so you're looking around, and as of right now, it doesn't seem like anything is amiss. You do notice kind of like the dirt right in front of the stone, the kind of carved stone over there is actually unsettled. Not like someone has dug it up or anything, but it seems like all the dirt there has shifted. And that's the only thing you can notice. That's amiss. Cool. Okay. Douse. It's your turn.
How do I turn this off? I'm gonna shape water and try to freeze it at the source.
So you're casting shape water.
Yes, I believe shape water allows me to freeze the water itself, or just the base where all the water is coming from, trying to like stop it.
Okay, so you're trying to stop the water flow in a sense.
Yes.
So you're casting shape water on it. And you actually feel kind of like a flicker of like anger in your mind of something that doesn't want to be suppressed. As you try and cast shape water, and it seems to freeze for a moment before breaking loose. And actually, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw. So see,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, that's a 5. So yeah, so you're basically you try to shape the water, but the feeling of not wanting to be suppressed and wanting to be free, almost like it was like a foreign thought and feeling in your mind, and now it almost becomes your own in a sense. Um, and like the spell breaks and it continues flailing and creating this rain that now spans over a 15-foot radius around you. So Nuri, it's like right on the edge of you. And same with you, Merilla, like it's on the edge.
If that's the case, I'll probably move away from the group a little bit with
Okay.
everyone getting soaked. And that would just be kind of my move, is stepping off to the side and trying to be like, stop, freedom.
You're like, why can't I let go? All right, and that was your turn. So now it is Merilla, your turn.
Douse, where is all that water coming from?
I don't know. Don't know.
Can I roll insight? Like, is he lying?
Roll insight, I guess. And Douse,
Okay.
you can either roll deception or persuasion.
You said that thought of freedom is my own. Am I trying to? Does that mean I want to
Marilla
run away
asked
as
where
well?
the
to
water
myself,
is
or no?
coming
It
from.
was you felt so you had it almost as your own, and in response to that feeling, the spell broke. Like it's almost like you dropped the spell.
Oh, okay.
And then that was it for it. So now it's gone.
All right. I will say I don't think shape water is concentration, but yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how
So I
that
got
plays into
22.
it. So I'll let you.
22
Does
on
Douse
insight.
really not know where the water is coming from?
Douse, you can respond to this one.
There's recognition from where the source is, being that it is certainly coming from his arm, from his bracelet. But you can see there's a little bit of not understanding entirely what's going on.
Okay. Fair.
Alrighty, Merilla, that's your turn.
Now she's gonna ask him, "Are you going to stop it?"
I'm trying. It doesn't seem to want to stop.
That's the end of her turn.
Alrighty, now we go back to the top of the round. Val, it is your turn. You were just
Val
doused
will
with
want to
water.
get away from the water. It's kind of annoying. Let's see. There we go. He is going to move closer to the stone because more were over here than over there. He's gonna go right up to the stone, actually. Maybe not that close, but he'll go right there. He'll put away his short bow and he'll just draw his rapier, and he will just hold his action for now.
Okay, alrighty. What are you holding your action for?
Yeah, the trigger is going to be if any more wraiths or ghosts or whatever they are appear, then he will attack it.
Okay, alrighty. Nuri, your turn.
Dusty, high or low?
Let's go with a high. That's your second high or low of the game this year. So
2 turns in a row.
Ooh.
Okay.
not bad.
Okay. I'm going to move my flaming sphere as my bonus action. So like right next to the rock. And I'm going to step next to Dusty. Is Dusty wearing any armor?
Not that you can see.
Well, I'm going to assume he's not wearing armor then. Let me see if this works. Can you cast mage armor on someone else or just yourself? No, it's someone else. Touch. Yeah, I'm going to touch Dusty and cast mage armor. And if you're not wearing armor, I don't know what your AC is. Those could be hurtful. It becomes 13 plus your dexterity modifier. It could be hurtful to you.
Okay. So
She doesn't know though. She doesn't know if you're wearing armor, so she just like casts spectral armor on you.
okay, so you reach over and you try to cast spectral armor. Nothing seems to happen. It's like your spell dissipates. But you could have sworn he wasn't wearing armor.
Alrighty. Dusty, your turn.
So Dusty kind of feels you reaching over, and he's like, nope. He puts one arm up. He's a little bit surprised by you reaching over and touching him. He could feel that you were trying to cast some spell on him. He's just gonna ignore it, and he's gonna move over here. So he's gonna move over here with Val, and he's going to prepare his action as well. If he sees some wraith, evil specter, ghost thingy, he's gonna smack it with his stick. And with that, he'll end his turn.
Okay, alrighty. It is Amaris's turn.
Okay. Amaris is gonna go over and check to see how Nuri's doing.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be like, are you all right? Did it get you at all?
No, I'm fine. But her eyes are just locked on Dusty the entire time.
Ooh.
She's married, guys.
No.
Get your minds out of here.
Hire
She
alone.
is
No.
super married.
No.
Low.
I know.
So like Nuri, she's always super inquisitive. So even though she's terrified, she's still wondering about what the heck just happened. So she's
Yeah.
suspicious of
I-
Dusty.
I know. I was making a joke.
Just had to clear my name.
Super
Izzy said
married.
low.
Super married. She is married and has a kid, so she is super married. Alrighty.
So Amaris notices that that Nuri is looking at Dusty, but can't really see Nuri's face, so she can't gauge thoughts based on that, and she just goes, "Thought you were married."
Amaris, you remember distinctly you were at her wedding.
You have a husband and a child. Why are you staring at Dusty like that?
Like that?
Ow.
Am I allowed to reply to that, or is that just the
Yeah, you
answer
can
is like,
you can
you died?
reply. She's using her action to do this.
So you say that, I'm like, my eyes for a moment move from Dusty to you, and I'm like really confused. I'm like, I am married. And then I look to Dusty again, and I kind of just mumble something about not letting it happen again.
That doesn't mean she can't
Really
appreciate
hear
the eye
that?
candy, right?
Can Merilla
Just
hear
kidding,
that?
just kidding. That's absolutely a joke.
You were not close enough to
Wow.
hear the mumble, Merilla.
Dang
Only
it.
Amaris was. And
Wait,
She already has suspicions.
No, wait, what did-
I just
What did Nuri mumble?
she's not going to let it happen again. This is just what she mumbled. So, like,
Ooh,
I would
okay.
say it quieter, but my mic wouldn't pick it up.
That she's not going to let it happen again.
And I don't know who this token is. I want to say
That would be
Val.
Echo.
Echo, okay. So only Echo and Amaris would have been able to hear that. So sorry, Merilla. Sorry.
Nah. Good friends.
That's gonna be Amaris' turn.
Okay. Amaris, that was your turn. All right, now it is the bad guy's turn. So Val, yours was if you saw the creature, then you would attack. Same with Dusty, right? Okay.
Yep.
What's your passive perception?
Mine is. Let's see if I can check.
Mine is 15.
15?
Let's see. Oh, it is. I believe it's kind of dumbly high. Let's see, passive. 15.
By the way, for those who are watching, I'm going to put some images. So this is the like kind of whitish specter that they were seeing. And this is the black spectral wraith that they were seeing. Just for you guys, you
Mine
can kind of
is okay.
see
Ooh.
it.
Okay.
Some
Interesting.
images.
Nice. Val's passive perception is at least 19.
At least 19.
Yeah.
So, because it's a 10 plus your perception.
But
Dang.
I also the observant feat, which adds it adds +5 to my passive perception. So
Nice.
it's.
I heard you say Douse for a second. I was like, what? No.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. Val sees all.
Val sees everything.
Nothing escaped my notice.
Okay, so it was a 19.
It's at least 19, if not more. So
Okay, alrighty. So so pretty much what happens is on its turn, Val, you actually see a spectral black hand come and grip Dusty's leg, but he's able to get an attack off it's a sneak attack basically as it's coming out of the ground like right underneath Dusty, grabbing his leg in the wrappings and everything, which does hit. He rolled a 19 plus his modifiers to hit, so
That
pretty
hits.
pretty sure it hits. Which is going to be 14 points of necrotic damage. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
11.
11. Your hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the damage taken. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest.
It was 14 damage, you said?
Yes. So
Ooh.
your hit point maximum is reduced by 14. Which means if you were at, like, say, a 22, it would go down 14.
I did have 8 temporary hit points, but since my maximum hit points was reduced, it probably still messes me up. I'll just double check.
Yeah, so you had... Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that works with temporary hit points. Would it take it off of those first? I think it would take it off of those first, and then whatever damage you took after that.
Yeah. So right now I'm at 12 hit points. Oh, I might actually be lower. Give me a second. 22
Okay.
minus 14 is 8. So I'm at 8 hit points. And that's my maximum hit points right now. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You're at max hit points, though. You know. Val, you do see the hand, and since you were holding your action to see it, you do get an attack of opportunity. Or you get your attack.
Okay, cool.
That you
Now
were
I'm
doing.
motionless, so I get advantage and attack.
It is on his
For
leg
2
5
reasons,
feet
so-
from you. It's just a hand.
Yeah.
So if you're doing archery, it technically would be at disadvantage because you're within 5 feet.
He's got his rapier out.
Oh, his rapier. Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna stab a hand, or what should be a hand, whatever.
The ghostly
He's just gonna
hand.
stab it. Yeah, he's just gonna stab whatever it is, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Stab
Not
it.
the worst.
Well, let me get it off of the GM layer. Move it back to the...
So
Move it
it's
over.
gonna be. Let's see. That's gonna be 22 to hit.
22 hits. Roll for damage.
Let's see what we do.
he has
Oh,
sneak
it's
attack as well, right?
Yeah, I get sneak attack too, but I increase to a D8.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice. 18 total.
18 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and that's just slashing damage?
That is technically piercing.
Piercing.
Rapier does piercing
Oh,
damage.
okay. So he's going to take half of that, so that's 9, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so you stab it and it kind of like, it's still gripping onto Dusty's leg, and it doesn't, and you just see it shake, and as your sword goes through it and slashes through it.
Yeah.
But it comes cleanly through.
Yeah, and as he does this, he'll be like, Echo!
And it is Echo's turn.
Echo is going to run over here to get a clean line of sight on the creature.
Okay.
And then he is actually going to pull out an arrow and string the last string of his lyre, which is a little thicker because it's actually a bowstring. And he's going to shoot it at the figure.
Okay. It is just the hand like peeking out, so roll for that. Out of
Would
the
that be
ground.
a disadvantage or just normal shot? 'Cause it's
Say just a
hand.
normal, I'll say a normal shot. Or actually, technically he has cover, so I would say disadvantage.
Okay.
I'll take that. It was a 19 and an 18.
Dang. All right. So you hit.
And I'm also using sharpshooter. So
Okay.
I am going to hit it for 18 piercing damage. So probably half of that.
Yeah, so it'll take half
Sorry,
of
19.
that. 19. Okay, so it takes half of
That's
that.
still- it's
That's still 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe sharpshooter helps ignore some cover, right? You don't necessarily have, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, sharpshooter does ignore cover. I forgot about that.
Or it ignores to a certain point.
Ignore half cover and 3/4 cover.
Okay, well then it was a straight up shot, so
Yeah, so it's all anyway. Yeah.
still
Thanks
hit.
for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so you make a super sharp shot with this. As the arrow comes flying and strikes like straight through, and it just continues flying and whizzes into the ground. Dusty, so now you have had someone slash in between your legs and an arrow fly right in between your legs. A little too
Both
close
miss.
for comfort.
All I know is my leg hurts. That's all I know. He's like
Maybe a little bit
jumping
itchy.
So, yeah, so definitely your leg hurts a lot. It seems to almost be just, it feels weak, like you can barely support your weight on it. Yeah, and then weapons came flying, but none of them hit you. Um, so yeah, so now so that was Echo's turn. It is now Douse's turn.
And I am still raining around me, correct?
Yes, you're trying to rein in the whip. Um,
Am I at all aware that there's another enemy or no?
Probably not at this point. They haven't really made any other like noises. And the sound of the water and it being flying everywhere, I mean, you could probably roll perception.
Well, if I'm making any roll, because I am definitely very focused on the water in front of me, it would have to be I'd seen someone attacking or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm guessing I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah,
I
from
guess
your
my
position
move
with
is
the
just
trees.
to try and continue to restrain this.
How?
That is a very good question. Do I have any feeling whatsoever of like being able to just expel all the water, or
Roll insight.
insight?
That
is a 9.
A
Too
9.
distracted.
Yeah, it's all coming. You think that's one idea is you could probably try and expel it all. You think that maybe you had this foreign feeling, so you have a thought like what communicating maybe with it.
Okay. I'm going to, I guess, address my bracelet. Well, I'm going to come over behind, out of sight.
Okay, behind the tree with this flailing water whip, which now has 6 tendrils and branches off of it, and it now is spraying water in a 20-foot radius.
Basically, everybody just sees coming out from behind the tree all these tendrils.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna be like, how do I shut you off? Like, just trying to like communicate with it, but
turn off
as if it's a machine or something that I can actually talk to.
Have you tried clapping twice?
It's a snap-on, actually.
Oh, okay.
No, that's funny.
The snap bracelet. Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, persuasion.
It's an entity. We did it.
That's a 4.
It's a 4.
It
if I were a
want to go
bracelet,
off.
I wouldn't listen to him either.
You see the bracelet, it feels cold. It's on your left wrist or right?
Yes,
Left.
it's on my left.
All right. It feels cold. And even as you like touch it, but trying to be like turn off, like it feels very cold to the touch. Not hurting you, but cold. Kind of like
Do I need to
actually
heat you up?
almost like a comforting type of cold, like back from home, back at the
Okay.
monastery.
Deep,
So like
cool water.
yeah,
Gotcha.
deep cold water. Um, it's almost kind of comforting in a sense. Um, and it doesn't seem to like really listen. It's going to with a does a 15 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the water whips is actually going to smack you on the head. It doesn't do any damage, but it's going to just slap you on the head. Um,
Well, I never.
um, and it's almost like so all the rest of them are like flailing except for this one that now like it smacked you on the head and it kind of like turns and rotates and it's still like waving like a sea on like a wave on the ocean, right? And it's kind of waving back and forth, the water bubbling and running up and down across the whip. And the tip of it is just comes and looks at you like front in the square in the face, okay? If it doesn't have a face, but it's just this little tendril of water that's looking at you like a snake. um
Oh, sorry. I have this propped up against my laptop, and so it just keeps falling over.
just dropped it. Okay. As it's kind of it seems to be just like waving there almost like a snake there. Um and it's actually going to let's see. It tries to like smack you on the face again, but it actually ends up missing and just kind of going over your shoulder. It doesn't seem very happy with you right now.
Well, I ain't happy with it.
Let's achieve
I'm guessing
symbiosis.
that's probably my turn at this
That
moment.
was
'Cause
your
we've had this conversation and everything.
this conversation with your jewelry. Um, yeah, so now it is Marilla's turn.
Brandon, talk about fashion disaster.
So Merilla is going to see Douse just kind of and go behind the tree. She's gonna glance over at Nuri, who is still kind of freaking out, but has managed herself. And she's gonna note that something is going on over there, but she's not quite sure. And she really doesn't want to see one of those super ugly things again. So she's gonna go back to the fire. She's going to pick up the biscuit that she dropped. She's going to sit down. She's going to eat it.
I love you, Marilla. She's like, I'm gonna finish my dinner.
I'm not having any of this.
And as she like sits down and she like is done mumbling and still kind of nibbling, she's gonna lean forward toward what's left of the fire and see if she can kind of like see Douse in his struggle. Just kind of like
You can kind of see a little bit of him from behind the tree. Actually, you probably could see a little bit more of him because he is trying to conceal by the tree, but you're the only one that's at an angle where you could see him. You see like this tendril, like a snake, just kind of like looking at him, and then you see it kind of like smack over his shoulder. And then it comes back and it's looking back at him, almost like and I say looking, but the tip is just pointed at his face and like a snake. And you can see that, and that would be the end of your turn. All right, Val, it is your turn.
Stabby stab stab away.
Stabby, stab, stab. Okay.
Eat.
And
Because
Save Dusty.
rogues
It
have zero
technically-
magical ability for most of them, so
okay. And so like technically it is still like it hasn't had a chance to move yet, so it's still just the arm like sticking out there. So it does have cover.
okay.
Which
Yeah.
does that mean it's disadvantage, or since you do have an advantage, it would just be straight up?
I still I haven't, so I'm still motionless.
Okay.
So I get that, but even if that weren't the case, I can still sneak attack a creature if it's the only yeah, I still have options to sneak attack it. So it's
Yeah, I think you would
fulfilling
still get the sneak attack damage,
Mhm.
but
which
it's
I'll need since it's only like since it's halved.
yeah.
So okay, that's not bad. I think that's higher. So let's see, 14. Mod 20.
Okay, you hit it.
Sweet. Oh, rip. Let's see, two, well, 2, 5, 6, 9. It's gonna be 16, so only 8.
How do you want to do this?
Yes. Val did not expect me the one to do this. This is why Echo deals with this kind of stuff. I deal with physical things. He deals with the other things.
I mean, I am a College of Spirits bard.
Yes. So he will just I think what he's actually going to do is he's going to take the rapier with both hands and actually just stab it into the ground. And that way pass it through the hand and probably unbeknownst to him just continue to stab through
Mhm.
through the wraith. So and just have the hand just kind of freeze up and then just kind of like do like a Thanos type thing, just kind of
The little
snaps away,
flex.
I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Except it's more like wisps instead of flex. But
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. So and I'm gonna assume that Val is just for whatever reason confident that it's gone finally. So.
Yeah, you actually all feel like a little lighter, as if the presence of the area had put like a weight on your souls. And you actually feel a little bit lighter now, a little bit of having that break of some corrupted evil that was here.
I mean, it
And
definitely relieved Dusty of some of the weight of his hit points.
it did.
Although the weight's still gone, it has lightened for me a little bit more than everyone else, but it's okay.
Alrighty. And we are now out of initiative order.
Nuri
Yeah.
is going to
Douse
Well,
is still struggling.
Okay, we're gonna turn to Douse here real quick.
Okay.
Douse, what are you gonna do?
I guess I'm addressing the little tentacle thing that's coming at me. Like, what do you want? Go off already.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that was perception. Persuasion. Can I take some perception?
Oof.
So you rolled another 4, and it comes, and I rolled the hit again. It got a 16 and a 17. So it comes and it smacks you on the cheek, like a slap, basically, no damage. As you just kind of like are slapped by this whip of water, and and it kind of like prods at your chest, and you have to like take a step back as it's like kind of smacking at you. Yeah, and it shoves you back like a bully.
Okay.
But
it's not giving me anything to my question of what do you want.
yeah, it's not giving you anything.
At this point, upon seeing this, Echo is going to give a point of bardic inspiration to help him with this situation.
Well, do you see it? Because I'm still behind the tree.
Yeah, Douse is hiding behind the tree. You can see the whips like flailing about in the air and just growing bigger, and there's like more tendrils kind of growing off of it.
I assume I would have headed over upon seeing the tendrils still whipping out behind the tree, because I got wet from it initially.
Okay, yeah, so if you want, move your character closer if you're moving over. So as you move over, you see this tendril like slap him and then prod him, and then it kind of like the tendril kind of like brushes by, like kind of like turns, almost like the tip of it passes by and sees like you coming over, and all the water just collapses to the ground and the spell ends.
It just disappears. It's done.
Oh, it looks like you finally got it.
Bards are notoriously scary, so I mean, I'd be scared too.
It like saw it. It was like,
Oh, it's shy.
I'm just gonna like sheepishly like kind of look around, make sure no one's watching, and try and come up from behind the tree.
Merilla just kind of like,
It's just kind of
stars are
casual.
pretty.
Are you okay over there?
Yes. I'm totally fine.
he's drenched.
This is how I prefer to be. Honestly, I love water.
I mean, I don't believe that I could blame you. It's very useful.
Yes. I mean, I came from the ocean. I was always covered in water. Anyways, are there any more enemies? Do we need to keep fighting?
I believe we took care of them while you were back here. Sorry, I didn't know that you were a little wet behind the ears on this.
Just a little. I mean, I see what you did there. he stops at that pun and literally says that.
Douse, you also notice that Echo is like wet as if it like had rained on him. You notice that as well as Amaris, Dusty, and Val and Echo, you guys are all still like very wet from when it initially like dumped like a rainfall on you guys. The only ones that are dry are Nuri and Merilla.
I'm so sorry about all of this. Should we maybe bring up another fire? We can all kind of use that to warm up and, just kind of take care of all this.
Merilla
Water.
pointedly pokes at the fire. It's still here. Smaller, but still kind of here. She noticeably still has her light spell.
While
Amaris-
this happened, oh sorry.
Amaris is over by Nuri, just kind of like wringing out her ponytail, like to get all those drops out, and she's just like, I would not be opposed to that, and heads over to the fire.
Okay.
While all of that happened, Nuri will have just like made a beeline towards Dusty and like would have been like lifting his arms up and stuff and just doing a general check over, be like, are you okay? Are you hurt?
Dusty's like on the ground because after the arm came up, it grabbed him and then it dissipated and he just kind of like slumped backwards and like reached over to his knee and he's like looking at it.
Nuri's right by you and she's like, oh. And she's kind of like wants to help with your knee but doesn't know what to do. And so like for the last little bit that her fire's around, it like comes by close enough to kind of just make all your clothes steam and get all the water mostly off of it, and then it dissipates. And then she'll like take her cloak off and like put it around you and just like pat your back and like
Yeah, Dusty will kind of he like puts his hand on yours, he like stands up, puts both his hands on the ground, pushes himself up, and he's just like, I think I'm all right. Just out of breath and tired.
First the look and now this.
Yeah, Val's gonna actually he's gonna look at Nuri and he's gonna be like, I thought you told me you were married.
I am married.
The second time the question has come
confused.
from. Nuri, this is the second time someone
That's
asked you that.
I said.
Val wouldn't have
That's
heard the first
exactly
time.
what I said.
You wouldn't have
I'm
heard the
not
first time.
interested in Dusty. No.
Dusty, you hear this?
No.
Yes, he's just kind of like he's like looking around. He's like, no. He's like shaking. He's like shaking his hand. He's like, no, she's very taken. Don't worry about it.
Deny.
Val
No,
will at that response, he'll just shrug his shoulders, pull out the bottle again, take a swig, and just walk off. He's like, nah.
Been around these guys too long.
He's gonna go over to Echo and he's gonna he's gonna be with him.
Nuri's gonna just like adjust your cloak, the cloak she put on you a little bit, and be like, more like a son, that's all. As I'm like brushing it off.
Dusty kind of walks over to where he started setting up his bed. He dropped everything when he thought a rabbit was attacking someone. But
For the rest of the night, Nuri's not gonna be more than 5 feet away from Dusty, so she's like trailing him the entire time.
Dusty, you've been adopted, is what she's saying.
oh, I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Alrighty.
So Echo is going to take off his cloak and his hood and kind of lay them out on the ground next to the fire to dry out a little bit because he doesn't like the idea of being soaked.
Precipitation, though? To just dry it?
I can make a fire, but I don't want to light it on fire.
Well, no.
Prestidigitation might
Yeah,
dry
it dry stuff.
He doesn't feel like using it.
Okay.
He's gonna lay it out to dry, and as he takes his cloak and hood off, you guys can see that most of his face is covered in very severe burn scars.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You did wake up by a burning building. At least what was left of one.
Yes, this is true.
All makes sense. All makes sense. She's just kind of like eat what's left of the biscuit, and she's gonna keep looking at you.
Is something the matter? I can cover back up if it disturbs you.
No. Keeps looking.
It hasn't ruined out her appetite. She's probably fine.
Alrighty. Anyone want to do anything else before you guys bed down for the night?
Sleep.
Dusty
Dusty
just
is in need of a nap.
The rabbits were
I-
too terrifying.
I would be too quiet or too exhausted and not really wanting to talk about anything that had happened to continue.
alrighty. Alright, so you guys
10 anxious minutes, I will reset the alarm. And then go right back next to Dusty.
okay, alrighty. Are you guys setting up a watch or
I'll take
I think
those
it'd be
watch.
smart.
Yeah, probably.
Merilla will also take first watch.
okay? So Nuri and Merilla are taking first watch.
Dusty.
I'll
I mean,
take
I
second.
technically don't need sleep, so I can watch as much as needed.
Oh,
Nuri, you are an elf.
I know.
So Dusty will take the second watch.
Okay, and then Echo's gonna be watching the whole night. Dusty taking second watch. Okay. Alrighty.
I'll sleep during second watch, but then be awake for the next watch because I only need 4 hours.
Alrighty. Well, as you guys continue throughout the night, nothing seems to happen. during your watch. Actually, Dusty, when you're watching, you do see a rabbit in the bushes.
I'm going to talk to it.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So
It kind of
A
like
druid who's scared of animals.
I actually can talk to it with my druidic circle. I know speech of the woods at level 2, which makes it so I can actually talk to animals. So Dusty kind of pulls out his quarterstaff. He can't like understand words. It's more like he can interpret what it does in response to his speech, but it can understand him perfectly. So he sees the rabbit and he like pulls out his quarterstaff and he asks it, "What business do you have here, creature?"
and you don't hear actual words from it, it's just thoughts and impressions.
Yeah, just kind of, I'm able to interpret its actions to be a message that I can understand. So you can roleplay that however you want with words or whatever.
So I'm gonna say that like you see kind of like its movements and everything, and it kind of like pads at its ear, and as you speak to it, it kind of like sits up a little bit and like perks, and its ears are like twitching in which ways, and it looks at you and then it says in a very deep voice, it says, I'm just chilling in the woods, doing my business."
Yeah, you can chill somewhere else.
Okay, rude. And then it hops off and like goes away. As it's walking away, you see it like dust its feet off in your direction and then hops back into the bushes.
Dusty lowers his quarterstaff. He like,
Right,
you avoided one fight tonight. You at least stopped one thing bad from happening.
Where? Let's see where. Oh, he's way over there. Never mind.
Okay. Alrighty, beautiful. All right, and the night passes. You're all able to get restful night's rest. Well, except for Echo, as you stayed awake, but you were able to get your rest still. So you have completed a long rest. Dusty, your hit points are back to normal. You've all recovered from the psychological damage that was.
Emotional damage.
The emotional damage. This is not quite Chinese mode, but it's Asian mode, right? If anyone's watched the videos of the guy, oh my gosh, I don't remember his names.
Stephen He.
Yes, Stephen He.
Yeah.
He's so awesome. Also, if you're ever watching this, Stephen He, I love your videos. You're awesome. Shout out to him. So, okay, the morning dawns. It is fresh. The air around the trees, the soil, it's been watered recently. So it's fresh.
Yeah, that happens.
House.
Morning dew, okay?
The morning dew is just in your camp. That is it. As it is a nice, fresh, brisk morning air. You guys can all wake up, pack up your camp, and set out on the road again.
We'll do
All
so
right.
with diligence. I have my mom walk going.
Yes, return
The
to the
mom
mom
walk.
walk.
Dusty will lead. He'll lead the walk. He's probably the first one up. Actually, stands up, steps on his foot. It's working. Good. All right, let's go.
Alrighty. Hey, you guys head back. You continue. Is there anything you're like talking, saying as you're on the road? I'm just throwing you guys up there.
I feel like it's fairly slow, not quite monotonous, but she's definitely not as uppity as everybody else.
Those old
Al
bones.
will keep an eye out for wildlife.
Okay.
And he will have his bow and arrow, or he'll have his bow out in his hand as he
Okay.
walks.
Are you hoping to like catch some game while you're out?
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Okay. As you are traveling, you do see a falcon in one of the trees. Um, you see a handful of rabbits. Um, as they seem to be plentiful in this area.
That rabbit works. I'll
Okay.
take a shot.
Roll to hit.
Was it one that Dusty found last night?
Is that
Nat 1.
Yeah, that one.
We're living up to our name, the Nat 1 Nerds.
It's the
Yeah.
We made it.
Nat 1 Nerds.
Hey, and credits.
Now here's the funny thing. It was a rabbit. It was a bunny. The thing that Dusty is like is pure evil. As you go and you shoot the arrow, it kind of like you see it like kind of flick and its ears turn and it just hops forward and it's just hits into the ground. Your arrow just buries into the ground and it just doesn't even harm the bunny at all.
Oh,
And it
no.
and it runs off into the bushes.
Dang it. I'll try again if I see another one.
Okay.
I'll go get my arrow and then I'll try again later.
Alrighty. You do see another
Yes.
bunny as you guys are traveling because it is plentiful in this area.
The bunnies are surrounding.
I actually rolled a nat 20.
Hey.
It's
I
obliterated.
So you see another bunny. It kind of is like peeking out of the bushes, as it kind of sniffs the air, and you catch sight of it. So you draw your bow, and as it pops out of the bushes, you just skewer it right through. And as like the arrow whistles. Just whistles through the air and strikes the rabbit. You see two baby bunnies come out of the bush, and and the rabbit it's skewered and they startle and they run back into the bush.
Is the rabbit still alive in any way, shape, or form when I find it?
That was a nat 20. It's dead.
Dang it. Okay.
I was expecting to be like, oh, you somehow deboned the rabbit as well with the arrow.
Yeah, you like
You
struck it
murdered the
through the
family.
eye, like through
Oh,
the
I shot
head.
it too well.
Yeah, you shot it too well.
I was hoping to wound it.
Should have called out non-lethal.
Yeah, I should have called out non-lethal. Dang, that was my intention. Was a non like I wanted to wound it. I didn't want to.
Oh well, you'll have to do that for the next one.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm not gonna waste the food, but I'll.
Does
He's
that
just helping
count as
Dusty
an
to clear the
innocent
forest of
killed?
bunnies.
That's very, very
It's an
kind.
innocent
Dusty, seeing you bring over a rabbit's corpse, will actually come up
Goes
to you
that
and
as an
say,
innocent?
"Could I have a tuft of that thing's fur, actually?"
That's fine. I was gonna use it for food.
That works for me. And
And
Dusty,
he hands you the rabbit. He's like, "Go ahead and take it off first. Might as well."
okay, Dusty will pull out one of his two knives he's carrying. Actually, Merilla's knife. He still
Yeah,
has
one of
it.
them.
And he's gonna like take off a bit of the fur, and he's going to put it in a pouch on his backpack, and he's gonna hand it back. He's like, "That's all I needed. Thank you."
All right.
Okay.
It's research. It's research purposes. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Why are you researching into rabbits, Dusty?
Kind of waves his hand. He's like, "Don't worry about it. It's just personal things."
I respect that, and
I inch
Yo.
closer.
yeah, he'll start when he has an opportunity, he'll start skinning it and stuff.
Okay.
So,
All right. As you are able to, you stop about like when you have about like an hour left on your journey, you guys take a brief respite. So you're able to, and this is when you shot the rabbit. So you're able to skin the rabbit. Are you making it into like jerky, rations, stuff like that?
Yeah, something like that. Depending on if it's later in the day, I might try to save the meat as best as possible for later to actually like properly cook to have a hearty meal, more hearty meal. Maybe throw some taters in there too.
Taters.
All right, so you guys stop for a lunch basically, and you're able to have like
Yeah,
a nice lunch with some meat. Um, yeah.
yes.
This is a very nice babysitter. He feeds us.
Don't make this
Echo.
weird. It's already weird.
Echo. Val, quick question. This other person, elf family you looked for that was like gone, were there undead included in those?
What do you mean by included?
Like, I don't know, on the road, in the house where you found the person. I'm assuming you found the elf. Did you ever find the elf?
Unfortunately.
What? So you said this would have very similar things to the past case, right?
Um, that past case was us trying to figure out what happened to this family of elves. We were able to find them, but unfortunately, they were not still in the land of the living when we did find them. So we were investigating into their deaths.
Were they undead?
No, thankfully.
So they were murdered.
Do you have an aversion to undead?
Yes.
When they come out of the ground,
you?
yes. Not normally. That last night. That's not the point right now. I'm talking about the missing
Nuri,
girl.
you do study a little bit of necromancy, don't you?
Yes, which I realize comes off as kind of bad vibes, but I swear it's not in that kind of way. It's to more help people. Oh man.
No, I trust you. I'm just confused how someone that studies a little bit, not a lot, of necromancy would be as terrified as you were.
Yeah.
Why are you so interested in this elf family?
Well, one, I just really like to know things. I'm gonna lean in a little closer. Plus, my cousin walked off after you said the name, which was suspicious. I kind of said that loud enough for her to hear. And then the second thing is, well, we are supposed to find this girl, and I was just like trying to make connections, of like what could be similar, where we could look. Were undead involved? Deaths were apparently. Yeah.
Are you trying to figure out whether or not you should be freaked out again?
No. I don't really like the dark, and it just came out of the dark. And it was startling. That's all. It was startling. That's all.
That's interesting to hear since you study some dark magic.
For a good reason. I study it to help people, not bring back dead. Oh.
You did say the very first time we met that one of the reasons why you studied necromancy was towards something like the usefulness of bringing people back from the dead. Nuri, are you trying to resurrect someone or someone?
As Val is hearing this in like the most dead serious tone, he'll be like, "The dead should remain dead."
He's not dead. He's not. It's my son. He's in a coma. The gods couldn't bring him back. The clerics couldn't do anything. So it's just, I thought I'd do it myself. That's all. He's not dead.
Is this your husband or your son?
my son. He's in a coma. But I'm just trying to bring him back. I mean, healing magic doesn't do anything, so I thought maybe necromancy might. But he's not dead, as I say directly to Val. He's not dead. He's breathing.
You sure somebody else does
Oh gosh.
And
I mean, I guess I can relate to having a child that is in a situation that is difficult. If you must know, Alicia, the elf girl that we were looking for, that we were trying to investigate into the death of, was my daughter.
You're so similar.
So that was your family?
I'm sorry. What?
No.
Wait.
Since we're going to be traveling together, I guess it would be important for you to know that I am actually technically an undead.
Wait, Val, did you know this?
yeah,
But the dead should stay dead, and your friend and I just something looked
It's a
really dead
paradox.
about you last night.
I spoke for both of us.
I do actually agree with him.
I'm gonna pull out my notebook and my quill's gonna appear in my hand. So are you saying that you are an undead who wished they remained dead?
To give you a shortened version of my tale, I used to be a performer at a tavern in my town when it was attacked by some form of monsters. I don't have much memories of before my death, but I just remember helping to fight off these monsters until I was able to reach my home, which I found in flames. I ran inside to find my wife and daughter, or what was left of them. And when I perished in the flames as well, I was brought back by the sheer will of needing to avenge my family. And that is why I've devoted the rest of my time here to finding what's happened to them so that I can rest peacefully.
So in a way, you're a spectre, a vengeful spectre, physical, even.
In a
Having
way,
a
I
task,
guess you
and
could
when
say.
you finish it, you pass on.
As Echo's talking, Emily, is there like another rabbit around or some kind of wildlife?
There are two baby bunnies that seem to be hopping in and out of this bush that seem to not know what to do with their life.
I rolled a 15 plus 6 for non-lethal.
Okay.
He didn't even say
so-
I'm gonna try to hit it. He's just like, I rolled a.
He's like, I am hitting it. Yeah, so you're able to like kind of get it in the hind leg and pin it to the ground, and the other baby bunny just jumps back into the bush. But yeah,
Killing all the bunnies with babies.
So this is while Echo is explaining his backstory. I'll take the rabbit, and as he's finishing, Val will turn to everybody, bare his fangs, and bite right into the rabbit.
Thanks.
Baby rabbit. Good.
Yeah, and you see the it's not that it's like the life immediately just got sucked right out of the rabbit.
Are
Vampire.
you a vampire?
I mean, I did not say that out loud. That was me out of character. But
There is more than meets the eye to your companions. Sorry.
These babysitters. Oh.
bomb drops.
Are you both undead?
out of character, Val's a Dampier.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Nuri still is like, are you both undead?
I mean, I leave that up to you. I've explained myself.
I feel like I explained myself quite well as well.
Show not tell.
Yes.
And
You're a
he'll
vampire.
yeah, and he'll walk back into the campsite with this now dead rabbit, and he'll start to skin it as well, and make some more.
Okay. All
Slightly
right.
horrified.
It probably won't take long to cook since it's a bit smaller.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I
smaller
also
one.
want to point out a character. Val wasn't necessarily trying to go for like a baby rabbit.
Yeah. It's just that's what was around.
Just so happened to be the only one.
Yeah,
It seemed to be a
Val-
much juicier life force, though, since it was younger.
I was about to say that would satisfy Val a lot better. So that's why he was hunting rabbits. He needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a freaking vampire. That's what Nuri like I'm traveling with a vampire. Which also at the same time she's like writing a bunch of stuff down, very, very interested in every little thing Val is doing. But pauses partway through that, looks to Echo, kind of gets a serious face and just pats his shoulder and goes, I'm sorry about the loss of your family. I can understand a little. I mean, not to your extent, because yours are actually dead, but still.
I appreciate the condolences. It is my ultimate goal to be able to join them in the afterlife, but I must accomplish my mission first. That's why we took this job, finding the lost girl, because she reminded me of my daughter.
That's so sweet.
Val just keeps skinning. Doesn't say much
Kind
more.
undead.
My
Phew.
emotionless companion here has been with me for a while, helping me with his endeavor, and I really appreciate him.
You're welcome.
There are still so many things to learn.
Shall we
Like,
take this on the
goes
road?
back to eating her.
Well, so as you
Whatever.
guys are finishing up your lunch, Douse, you do notice something glinting, in the sunlight over by the bush. Well, that's it. I don't know if you wanted to do anything, but that's what you see.
Um, I mean, I guess I would check it out if it caught my attention.
Okay. You can head over and you see a golden ring on the ground.
Stay away from jewelry, Douse.
I was gonna say, like, knowing what I do about weird objects of jewelry, I'll just put this in my pocket for now
Okay.
and bring it up later.
Alrighty.
I really want to, like, Lord of the Rings things.
The Lord of the Rings. Okay. Alrighty. So you guys finish up your meal, get back onto the road, travel for another hour. And you guys finally reach Dragondale. You realize that at this point you're kind of passing through a little bit of like some like hay farms that are, but as you're kind of coming closer, the ground itself starts to become barren of like vegetation and becomes more rocky. Like there's like still patches of grass and stuff here and there are like certain pastures of grass, but it's a lot more spotty in the area. As you guys are coming up towards Dragondale, there's not so much of like a main gate or anything. It's just like a main road heading in. You guys can see a bunch of different like houses, different like stalls. It seems like there's lots of buildings scattered throughout, but there's not very many people like walking about and around. Some people will have like pigs kind of penned off um, in like a little pen. Um, can everyone make can everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me real quick?
Oh.
Oh.
On top of that, as they're entering the town, Amaris is gonna
6 total.
pull her hood up.
Dang it.
6 total with a natural 1 and a plus
Oh.
5.
Okay. Yeah.
19.
19. Okay.
Okay, it's not a nat 1, it's a dirty 1.
A dirty one?
So you got a -1 to wisdom.
Either way, Dusty will kind of hurriedly. He'll kind of, if nothing like stops them, he's gonna kind of motion for everyone to follow him, and he's gonna kind of put a little pep in his step and go to the tough hammer home.
Okay.
Val got a 7.
7?
Yeah. Only had been a deck save.
Okay. Alrighty. Yep. You guys are totally fine.
Oh, cool.
Dusty, as you're kind of coming through, you're like, dang, this is a pretty cool, like, town. Like, all the buildings themselves kind of look like mesa structures, like, made out of clay, built, they're all flat. Most of them are, like, the max amount of stories you would have would be, like, 2 stories. So they're all very, like, short buildings. Just very, like, clay, structures pretty much of like all the various buildings here. You all see this. And pretty much like as you guys are kind of coming through the town, yeah, you see some pigs in a pen. They seem to be kind of like in the corner, like not super welcoming to strangers, a little skittish. As they're just in their little mud bath area. People are kind of walking around going about their business. There's not very many people here, even though it seems like a larger town. Yeah, you guys can, so you're heading straight towards the residence of the tough hammers
family. Yeah, Dusty's kind of leading them. It's like he knows exactly where to go.
Okay.
As we move through the town, Val will look over at Echo and just be like, there should be a lot more people here. Can he roll a perception check to see if they're, I mean, it's pretty general, but to glean anything else from, because it's kind of catching his eye that there's way more buildings than people, especially since he's been here before.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, where did everybody go? So he's kind of trying to spot anything else that might be out of place here, if that's okay.
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Okay, that's better. That would be more appropriate. Okay. 16.
Could I try and figure out why he's looking around?
I mean, you could ask him.
That's true. I was gonna say, because Dusty's not really gonna ask him. He's just gonna. He sees him looking around, but he's like, I wonder, what is he looking at? What is he looking towards?
Dusty, you would also know that like you've been to this place quite often, and like the population does seem like a lot lower. So I would say you can kind of glean from it, from his investigating that maybe he's curious about the lack of people as well. Okay. What'd you get for your roll?
16.
16? Okay,
yep.
You notice, hold on, look at my notes here. You notice like there's not too much like out of place in a sense, other than like you it seems like a town where there are a couple people about, not too many. Like the biggest weird thing is that there's just not as many people as there normally would be. You do see this older gentleman who seems to be pulling on this on this tether that's wrapped around this goat who is just pressing itself like into the ground, like not wanting to go forward. And the guy's like, "Oh, Badger, yeah, come on, just got it, yeah." And the goat's like, not wanting to go forward.
So Merilla is gonna go over to this old man because she knows what it's like to struggle as an older person. And behind the goat, she's going to flare up a firebolt. Go! Get going, you goat!
Okay, so the goat just kind of like it looks back and it freaks out and it starts like running forward and the guy has to jump out of the way. And the goat's like running and he's like, thanks, and as he like starts chasing, trying to still hold the tether.
Welcome!
But yeah, like from that investigation, like the goat just like, yeah, goats don't really are more of a stubborn animal, but he was not happy. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can gain from your investigation.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys you're leading them towards the Toughhammer residence, Dusty?
Yes.
Alrighty. So you are able to expertly weave your way through. You actually pass by the only inn in town while you're going there, so you guys can notice that for later. And you head down the different walkways. You hear a couple little like of some chickens in a coop. And they see you don't see them, you just hear them from inside of a closed coop. And you guys head over and you come to the front door of the Toughhammer residence.
Dusty will knock.
Okay, you knock on the door.
Dusty, you seem awfully comfortable in this place. Have you been here before?
Yes, this is my home. Well, close. This is as close.
It
as
doesn't look
home
like we're in
gets
the
to me.
desert.
It's close. It's close.
Closer to home.
And he's kind of like waving, like he's very concentrated on the door and knocking.
So there's a few moments and you hear a moment, you recognize it as the mother of the family, which is Girth Toughhammer. And then after a moment, you see the door open to a familiar half-orc with dark, curly black hair. With, she's got the two tusks sticking out of her mouth and wearing just regular, like, shirt and trousers. She's actually got like a bit of a half apron on, and it seems to be like covered in like flour. But it's totally like her shirt's covered in flour too. Like, as well as her face. She doesn't seem. Are you saying that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. She kind of like she looks at you for a second and then she like turns and she sees Dusty and she goes, "Dusty!" And she goes over and she wraps him in a bear hug and she like nuzzles into your head and
yeah, he like full embraces her.
And she's like she holds you tight for a moment and then she pats on your shoulders pretty like heavily. It's like, come inside. I've got some bread in the in the oven stove, the brick oven stove. That's not really what it's called. In the fire thing. Come in.
The furnace.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
The furnace.
As he's stepping in, he says, I heard about tax.
Who?
Tax.
The taxes we have to pay?
No, your daughter. Tax. Toughhammer.
That's weird. Funny joke, Dusty. And she goes over and she like pulls out like the bread, like the dough that she was kneading, and she's like punching it, like
I picture she like just kind of like shoves him in and like pushes him to a chair.
yeah, and pushes him into a chair, and she goes back to like shoving. You guys are more than welcome to walk in. There are like a handful of like stools in here.
You said there was bread? Bread inside?
Oh yes.
Smells so good.
Oh yes,
Lovely.
these are some friends of mine.
Oh, nice to meet you. And she pulls out one of the loaves and she plops it onto the table along with like a big butcher's knife, and she's like, cut it yourselves. And then she's like, oh, I think where did I put that? And you see her kind of shuffling through a couple cupboards, and she pulls out like a glass jar. And then she pulls out like a smaller knife, like a butter knife. But it's like it looks very small in her giant grip. And she sets it down to the bread, and she's like, "Help yourself. Help yourself."
Thank you. Did you make this yourself?
I did.
The spread as well?
Oh no. That's Sharon's down the street.
Okay, I'll have to go talk to her later. Uh,
She's
Ma'am.
the elf down the street.
Oh, an elf. I like that. Ma'am.
Yes, who are you? Dusty's friend, no doubt.
Yes, I'm Nuri Tamaron. Nice to meet you. What do you know about your daughter who's missing?
What are you talking about? I don't have a
Do
daughter.
you do you have a husband?
You do. He's out in Steel Glen doing some sort of business for Leodon shipping.
He's the one that sent for us to find your daughter.
Your daughter, Tax. Dusty kind of cuts in. He's like really abrupt about it.
I don't have a daughter. She kind of like stops, and she stops like kind of punching the bread, and she's
What do you
looking.
mean? I saw her last time I was here. We talked.
Echo's gonna start looking around for signs of children.
Okay. Roll a perception check. This is a weird joke, Dusty.
16.
16? There is definitely signs of children here. Of a child. You see, like a hand haphazardly stitched doll. And you actually see behind a curtain there's a child's bed. That looks like it hasn't even been made. There's like a toy box underneath it as well, and like a couple different toys that are kind of littered off in like into the corners of the room. And you also see like on the door frame of where you guys entered, you see markings that like show height, and they have like tacks, 5 springs, tacks, 6 springs, like different like heights that are on there. And she just kind of like stops and it's good to see. It's good to see you, Dusty. What brings you here to visit?
Yeah, it's good to see you too. But this is, and he's like trying to find the words. He's like, okay. So to be clear, you don't remember Tax or anyone named Tax. Little half-orc girl about this high. He puts his hand down to about how tall she was.
You actually notice out of the corner of her eyes, there's like a tear that falls, and she kind of like seems a little confused as she kind of like goes and she wipes it away. She's like, No? This is not a funny joke anymore, Dusty.
But man,
Another tear kind of comes and she wipes it away.
You're crying. You're
No.
crying.
It's onions, I think. There's no
I'm
onions
sorry.
around.
I'm sorry. Your husband. Where is he?
He's in Steel Glen. She
That-
the tears
sorry,
are
out
no
of-
longer falling.
Out of character. That's a whole different town, right?
Yeah, that's the town you guys came from.
That's where we came from. Okay.
You guys know he's there, because, or I guess, Echo and Val, you guys know that he is there.
So Dusty will ask her. So then, okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But tell me about the Jackalwares.
The Jackalwares? What are you talking about?
The Jackalwares, the
Oh,
creatures, the humanoid.
the ones that were in, like, the desert that I heard about?
Yeah, have they got to here?
No, they haven't. No, I haven't seen anything here about them.
Like cocks his head to the side. He's like a little bit confused. He's like, okay.
Yeah, no, I heard about them in the desert over there. I've heard that they've brought a couple bounties to the Adventurers Guild. But no one's taken it quite yet.
For sure. Dusty's gonna he's gonna pull out his totem and he's going to cast detect magic. He's gonna be like, 1 moment, please. He's gonna cast that. So any sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me. If I sense it in this way, I can use my action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object that bears magic, and learn at School of Magic if any.
Okay. So what you actually don't see any magic in this like place at all. It seems like everything here is unmagical.
Would I have also noticed the clear signs that a child lived here, or
Make a yeah. If you look around, you can kind of see that
They're like around the living room space,
the
right?
yeah, you guys are kind of it's like a small little like house, pretty much. Small little clay house. But you guys can see signs, some basic signs of like a kid living here. Um uh Echo got like a more descriptive of like very descriptive like signs of a kid living here. So you know for a fact you guys can see like a few little signs of a kid here. Nuri?
I was seeing all of this go down, and Dusty's looking for. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something with the totem. Waving it around like a magic stick. Nuri's gonna go closer to the mom and just kind of like be looking at what she's making, like, oh, this looks wonderful. Oh, quick question. Sorry, it's my first time being here, which it's not my first time being here, right?
You will have been here a handful of times, but not very much at all. Like they were years ago.
So it's my first time here, and I was like, oh, what a cute little town. Is it normally this busy, or is there generally more people, or is this a normal amount of people in town?
Yeah, it's been this way for as long as I can remember. Sorry,
And
it's
how
been this
long
way.
was that? Since you were 12?
I've lived here since I was a kid. Grew up here. Met Drov here. Fun.
So were you about 12? Is that how far back you can remember?
I mean, I can remember as I was born here. I can remember childhood memories.
Oh, I was just wondering. Sorry, it was related to something else.
Something
Oh,
else,
so
yes.
nice.
I can hear you. We're in the same room.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm gonna go back.
What about
But
me?
you were talking about her.
Not the same thing.
Merilla's gonna kind of like up into your conversation. You've been here forever. What kind of bigger buildings do you have? Like libraries, churches? Who's in charge here?
Yeah, well, the person in charge is, we have a dragonborn family, very cute family. They just got a new baby. Brand new. Uh, can't remember the names off the top of my head. But they're good people, good people. As I try and quickly scroll down to see their names. The Galixual family. They're a great family. Ah, yeah, they're good people, good people. Yeah, they're kind of like the barons over the area.
What was her name one more time?
Glixual family. So that's Glixuul.
Excellent, thanks.
Val will kind of try to pull Dusty aside for a moment. That way it's not. That way the the woman doesn't hear per se, and just ask him. I'm guessing she wouldn't play the charade of her own will.
No. They were too close. He's like when you reach up initially to grab him, he kind of like pulls his arm back to kind of pull away from you, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." And then he'll follow you over, and then that's what he'll say to you. And no, they were too close. I can't see her doing this unless there was something else, but I didn't see any magic at all.
But did you notice the lack of a population? It was a lot bigger when I was last here, and it wasn't that terribly long ago.
Same
Wouldn't
here.
have depleted that fast.
I thought it must have been the Jackawares, but she says that they haven't made it here yet. It's possible she's wrong about that too. I don't know if we can entirely trust everything she says.
No, I don't think so. I'm starting to wonder if this isn't a singular incident.
Who was it who made this request? Do you have access to that information?
As far are you talking about the why we were sent here by the guild in the first place?
Yes. Who requested that we came and found Tax?
It was her husband. That's what Dorothy told me.
He's not here.
No, she said that he was staying in Steel Glen. I want to say it was because he was making sure he had the funds to give the proper reward.
Yeah. He kind of like scratches the top of his head. He's like, we have to jar her memory somehow. You can't forget Tax. I don't know how she did.
Emily, would Val have noticed the tears as well during this time? Because he would have just, yeah. So he's gonna be like, I don't know how to explain it or even put it into words, but the best I can say is I don't think she forgot Tax, or at least a part of her did not forget Tax. Part of her clearly remembers, but something is holding her back.
I don't know.
But with the lack of a population, I'm wondering if there isn't more than just one missing kid. But that's just a guess right off the top. We would need to look further.
Yes. I can try talking to her and see if I can maybe jar something, but
I don't think that's a bad idea. Just I'd be careful how you do it though.
Yeah.
Because we need her to remain cooperative, but if we keep pushing this idea, I think the motherly instincts might come out without her realizing it. She'll clamp shut.
he kind of nods his head.
So, but you know her better than I do.
Yeah. She's an orc. She'll be fine. Well, I suppose half orc, but he kind of like shakes his hand. He's like, yeah. Okay.
And with that note, we are going to end tonight's session before Dusty can get his conversation with her. But as you guys are currently figuring out this conundrum, right? And you're about to go into this conversation with her, that's where we'll end tonight's session, and we'll pick up next week at Friday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. What do you guys think of the session?
Bad, not so bad.
It's so sad.
I know.
I got the final kill on something. That's fun.
My arm exploded with water. And I got slapped twice by a tentacle.
I mean, I got to speak
Highly
with
eventful.
Ghost.
You did get slapped quite a bit. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming, Parker and Brandon. It's been such a great time having you guys here, and we look forward to seeing you guys at the hopeful full conclusion of the of this arc next session. And thank you all to everyone who was watching the stream tonight. We are so grateful for your support and for all the follows. And we hope to see you next week as well. So, bye guys. Have a wonderful night, I guess.
Bye-bye. Sleep well / wake up well. Have fun at school.
Don't forget your
Make
children.
good choices.
Don't forget your children.
All right, bye.